I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Oh, welcome everybody to MPD Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good Friday, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad. That's right, I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we have got a fantastic one for you as we're going to be recapping the events from last night's PBC card. It's the type of show that demands phone calls. We're going to be opening up the phone lines near the end of the hour, or in an hour, rather, because we need to hear from the people out there and really get some input on how people saw the fights. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature, our Patreon page, link in the description. You can also donate via the Buy Me a Coffee app, or join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. But the most important thing is you continue to like, you subscribe, and you spread that BDA gospel. All right. Who do we have here? Speaking of the gospels, we've got some of the people here in the chat. Skullkit, shout out to him. Claudio Monreal, Snackford, More BDC, Ralph Unreal, Buddy Love, Antilles, Frank Bay, shout out to Frank Bay, one of the initiated. Chad Collins, 47, Mark T, Ralph Unreal, Rapax Trucking Company, 10-4, shout out to him. Mars, King Bucho, keeping an eye on things. Jaime Raiden in the chat as well. Thone, Team Batman Boxing, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, we got Bucho, we got Gonzalo here. Which one of you guys wants to start giving us your thoughts on last night's main event? And before I forget, in case anybody missed it, the main event was Lamont Roach Jr. taking on Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz scored a knockdown early in the fight, and then Roach rallied in the second half of the fight. But then the last two rounds were up for debate, and the fight was ruled a draw. Cruz got a card of 115-111, 113-113. Wait, what was the second one? The judges disagreed as their second in a majority draw. Cruz won by an absurd 115-111 according to Boxing Scene. They're calling it absurd, which was, okay, so two cards of 113-113, and that's the draw that we've got. Before we continue, let's get to the Super Chat real quick here. Shout out to Chad Collins for his contribution with the Super Chat, who says the draw seemed fair. All right, shout out to Chad Collins for his contribution. He's looking at it as that it indeed could have gone down either way or as a draw. Well, that's the other thing, real quick. Some people say, oh, a draw means it could have gone either way. That's not what Chad Collins is saying, by the way. added that, but in reality, yeah, it makes no sense. A draw could be the fight was too close to call, not necessarily that could have gone either way. So that's what we want to get to here today. So who wants to start? How did you guys see the fight? What happened? What transpired?
I guess I'll go first, Mucho.
Yep.
I just got it on my mind right now because with PDA saying, I don't think it was that fair because, for one, I'm not gonna pin it all on the judges, but this goes hand in hand. The referee kept interjecting, like not just once, it was every fucking round. And you know, guys, in everything in life, if something keeps butting in, it's always gonna kill the momentum. And yes, yeah, Cruz's game, but this fucking guy's warning them 2-3 times in a row in every fucking round, and it's kind of only going like one way. When Lamont is doing something, he's not warning him about that. Only Pitbull Cruz. So that kills the momentum, and it shuts down your ability to do things as smoothly as you probably could, and it also kind of sways the judges into believing, hey, this guy's fighting dirty. And okay, well, can you say that Pitbull Cruz was landing low? I didn't see something like that egregious, but you will have to say that. I mean, he is the shorter guy, so obviously it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It wasn't intentional in the sense that also when you fall into the clinch, I don't think either guy were necessarily clinching on purpose, but it just happens to believe that's how the two frames fall together, the two body types, and when they're coming together. And another thing that point deduction, that 1 point was the difference. If that point would not have been deducted, then Pitbull Cruz wins. And there was like no real warnings, because Lamont was also hitting behind the head, and the clinch could have been attributed to either guy. And I don't think, like I said once again, that Cruz was intentionally hitting to the balls or anything,
Right.
But yeah, that's basically it. I would have to say I did get this right. No BD. I told you Pitbull Cruz's hit is hard as fuck, and there was going to be a big chance that the opponent was going to hurt his hand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was going to tell you. Yeah, I was going to tell you. We were talking about the fact that this guy's got a big Olmec statue head. And it's not surprising then that Tank Davis might really have injured that hand. Although, again, there was never any proof about it except for his word. But I want to go back to what you said about the referee, because I was surprised that Isaac Cruz was holding whenever he would go inside. But then that's the thing. You complained about the referee. I've complained before when it comes to clinching about how the ref will allow one guy to clinch, but he will prevent the clinched fighter from being dirty as well and breaking the rules, because let's remember, guys, clinching is against the rules. But sometimes the referees will warn the clinched guy from breaking the rules to try to offset the clinch. So in this scenario, he allowed both of them to do the clinching, which did make for an aesthetically displeasing fight, because I would have rather have seen clean action. But at the same time, like people were saying in the chat here, since when does the PBC or the commentators complain about clinching? Because like we were talking about before the fight, Tank Davis was clinching Isaac Cruz a lot in their fight. I never heard a peep from anybody other than people on this channel who complained about it. Now all of a sudden when Cruz does it, it's a problem, which again, I agree, clinching is a problem. But how about we keep it consistent here? Because again, this reminds me of the what's going on between Crawford and the WBC. For years, some of us have been talking about and against the sanctioning bodies and how they're ruining boxing, and people just go along with it. People just keep appeasing the sanctioning bodies, and especially the people who hyped undisputed in the 4-belt era, and the people that kept saying, no, Teofimo Lopez ain't undisputed because he doesn't have all the belts. Now all of a sudden, because Crawford's doing it, they follow suit. So I suspect something similar is going to happen with the clinching. One of the darlings of boxing is going to have to fall victim to clinching one of these days, for people to wake up for it. But other than that, people just pick and choose when they want to allow the clinching. So, yes, I disagreed with both guys clinching. I didn't like it. It made for a sloppy fight, whereas it could have been even more action-packed had the referee started deducting points from both guys for the clinches. And by the way, the referee's name is James Green. And I don't remember the specific fight. I'm going to have to do some research on this. But I remember seeing him in other cards and really thinking, this guy's... what's the word I'm looking for here? Intruding too much. Like Gonzalo said, and this is the guy. He is a little bit too hands-on, which is stupid because he warns a lot. Like last night, he was warning a lot, and he only deducted points once from Isaac Cruz. not from Roach, and not more than 1 point from Cruz. So what's the point of all that warning if you're not going to do anything about it? So in a way, I dislike his approach in some fights, but in this one, yeah, there were points to be deducted, and yet he didn't do it. So when he needs to deduct points, he doesn't, and then when he really has a right to do so, he fails to do so. So this dude was all over the place. James Green might be a little bit too green for this game.
It was a little weird, BD. One lesson to say for now. There was one instance where Pitbull Cruz was bouncing on the tip of his toes because Lamont Roach was also clinching, and basically what Pitbull Cruz was indicating to the judge, or he looked a little bit like exasperated, was because he wanted Lamont to let him go. So he was bouncing up on the tip of his toes, and that guy, the referee, he warned him, "Hey, no bouncing up and down." And I remember Sobers mentioned something about that in the Discord. Yeah, it was weird.
But by the way, I remember Shane Mosley doing that against Vernon Forrest. I think it was in the rematch as well, where Forrest was doing his fair share of clinching, and Mosley would start bouncing up and down. And that was to offset the clinching. But again, it is disappointing when one guy is allowed to clinch, although I'm not saying that this is what happened in this one, but again, when one guy is allowed to clinch, and then the clinch fighter tries to break the rules as well to try to offset that, and all of a sudden he gets warned. Like Benavides versus Caleb Plant is a perfect example. So the ref was all over the place yesterday. But yeah, who else wants to go give us their thoughts on what happened?
Let me cook, bro. Let me cook, BDA, because I said this shit I think a week ago. I swear to God, I said this like a week and a half. It wasn't even that long ago, bro. I was saying these Mexicans, the reason why you don't see them bouncing around on their toes and trying to back foot people is because they're not fucking allowed to. When you see a Mexican fighting like that, they say he looks scared. Why is he doing that? And you see Pitbull Cruz actually try to do that during this fight, right? After the referee took a point, he tried to adjust. He tried to adjust, and he tried to say, okay, let me try something else out. Let me get my energy back. I'm going to bounce on my toes. I'm going to throw some jabs. I'm going to throw some right hands. Landing shots. And then afterwards, what does Roach say? What are they saying? Oh, yeah, I made him change his style. He had to run around for me. He had to run away from me. He didn't want to fight me no more. So it's like, bro, when he's fucking bouncing on his toes, he's running from you. But when you do it, that's you following the game plan. That shit, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a perfect example, bro, of everything wrong with this sport. Yo, like Gonzalo said, they warned him. They warned Cruz for bouncing on his toes. You're not allowed to bounce on your toes, you Mexican. You're supposed to be flat-footed. That's what I saw. Yeah. That's what I saw. You're supposed to be flat-footed. You can't bounce on your toes. And you know what that was about though? That was.
I think even the referee.
That was Pitbull Cruz showing he had an adrenaline dump, right? He wanted to keep moving, separate us, because right before that happened, he landed some good combinations. He looked like he had Lamont Roach hurt. So when Lamont Roach started grabbing him, he had an adrenaline dump. He's bouncing, separate us so we can keep fighting. I want to keep fighting. And then the referee says, no, you can't do that. You can't do that in here. That whole time, dude, he like the only thing that was missing of BDA and Bucho was a referee to tell him, you're fucking hitting him too hard. Calm down. I'm surprised he didn't get a warning for that.
Say that? Didn't he call him? Didn't he call him Little Beaner? Didn't he call him Little Beaner?
And the whole time, Cruz is getting warnings for every little thing. But then you see Lamont Roach whispering in his ear, talking shit. You're like excessively holding. It's like, how come you didn't say one thing to him, bro?
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Gypsy. Go ahead.
I want to know what round was this that he said don't bounce? Because I got my network going on and off. That's why.
Well, you didn't watch the fight, dude. So I'm not. Obviously, you didn't watch the fight, bro. So I'm not worried about nothing you got to say. You was the one trying to act like Lamont Roach won, bro. You don't even know what the fuck. You didn't know what we're talking about.
See, Ryan Garcia, being a Mexican that he is, American Mexican, he believes that Roach won too. So what's the big deal?
Ryan Garcia said he thinks that Roach won, but the draw is fine. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Dude, shut up.
Who cares about Ryan? Ryan Garcia is out of his mind. Ryan Garcia says that he saw kids being abused in the woods or something. He was tied.
No, but on top of that, Bucho, you're lying. You're lying because Ryan said he thinks Roach won. You stupid ass.
Yeah, Roach won.
So what are you talking? No. If you try to say that Ryan Garcia's a Mexican American, he had Pitbull Cruz winning. What do you think about that? He didn't even say that though. You're fucking lying. You're stupid.
Stop cussing. Stop saying stupid because you're
stupid. Stop being stupid, bro. Stop making shit up.
All right. Let's calm down. Listen, man.
Hey, by the way,
I asked you what round did he say? Because I noticed something like that, but I couldn't hear it. what round was that where he said don't bounce? Because I want to see this. I want to go play
It
and
was
watch
like
it again.
round 3. I think it was round 3, 4.
We'll look it
around
up.
that.
We'll look it up. We'll look it up. We'll look it up. We'll look it up. By the way,
I
shout
don't
out
need
to.
to fight.
Yeah, man,
Shout out.
I scored it for
Yeah,
Roach.
bro,
Excuse me.
why you didn't watch
Excuse
the
me,
fight?
excuse me,
bro?
excuse me.
All
I'll
right,
let you
all right,
guys.
hold on,
I'll let you guys. We'll let
BDA,
you.
BDA.
We're gonna let you guys go at it in a couple of minutes, okay? But let me just read a super chat before I forget. Shout out to Mars for his contribution with the super chat, who says BDA forever, mine. There you go. Shout out to Mars, doing a little bit of urban ethnicity there, adding a little bit of a dash to it. So shout out to Mars for his contribution with the super chat. Now, in terms of the fight itself, we were talking about it on Friday, the open lines. Now, Fu TV, I see him in the chat. Shout out to Fu. He said Cruz was going to win within 5 rounds. I was leaning more towards Roach by decision. Turns out we were both sort of right, because Isaac Cruz did look like he was about to stop and fulfill Fu TV's prophecy within the first 6 rounds. Then I guess he got tired from all that swinging, because that's fucking stupid. Cruz, what he does is, like we were talking about on Friday, he just spams the hooks. But if you're putting everything on those hooks and you're missing, it takes a lot out of you. And that's what it seemed like happened. I'm curious to get your thoughts. And then Roach won most of the rounds after the first half. But then that dude, see, that's the interesting thing. When Cruz got on his bike and actually did pretty well at outboxing Roach in the round in which he did it, people were saying, oh, Isaac Cruz is intimidated. But then Roach started doing it in the 11th. So by that logic, did Cruz retake control of the fight? And then that's the problem. Roach did okay in the parts of the 11th, but then he got hurt at the end. So since there was not much happening, some people feel that Cruz could have won that round. And then the 12th, Isaac Cruz really went for it. So that round could have gone for him as well. So that's why it seems a lot of people are okay with the draw. What I'm saying here is Roach actually did well letting his hands go. Just moving around the ring wasn't working for him because it allowed Cruz to catch him. And then once Cruz tired, it did start working, but he needed to let his hands go. I saw the CompuBox numbers, by the way. I have to rewatch the fight because according to CompuBox, Roach did outland Cruz. I don't know if it was throughout the fight, but certainly in total, at the end of the fight, he landed more shots. So we got to look for that. We got to rescore the fight. I don't know if one of these days, if there's not much going on, we can rescore the fight, do a group watch or whatever. But it was certainly an interesting fight. What did you guys think of the reaction that's going on? Was it a robbery? Could it have gone either way, or was the draw fair?
Should I go
It was
first,
a
BDA,
robbery.
or should Sobers go first?
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
It was a robbery, bro, because they should not have taken a point from this dude. They should never have taken a point. So when you see the referee warning him for what seems like no reason in the beginning of the fight, he's setting up the point deduction later on, so it doesn't look like it's coming out of nowhere. He was helping Roach the whole time. Pitbull Cruz called it out. He said, "I was fighting the judges, I was fighting the fighter, and I was fighting the referee." And he said, "I would love to rematch him with a different referee with better qualifications." Right. So it's very obvious that this dude was making himself too much of a thing in the fight. Like you're not. No one's here to watch you, fat guy. Get the fuck out the way. The best referee is one that you don't even notice, right?
You could also say. Wait, let me go, please. You could also say that he was fighting the commentators because the commentators were giving Roach all the benefit of the doubt in the middle rounds. But if this would have been like, for example, Canelo Crawford, where everything was kind of like uneventful and it could have gone either way, all those rounds would have gone to Roach. So for me, it was a good thing that Pitbull is a fast starter, because as soon as the bell rang, he came out of the gate and started touching up Lamont Roach, and you cannot give those rounds to Lamont. So they go right up from the beginning. They go to Pitbull Cruz, and that puts the commentators out of like, well, we think that Lamont gets that round. Yeah, in the middle rounds, they still found a way to give the close rounds to Lamont. That's what I'm saying. And Pitbull stepped it up in the end. He definitely won the 12th round. And dude, and one last thing, throughout the whole course of the fight, Lamont Roach had the look of concern. He had the look of like, damn, this guy's fucking all over me. And kind of not scared, but kind of like in dismay.
Yeah.
And his expression didn't look right. And Pitbull was real calm in the corner, but as soon as the fight ended, Lamont jumped on the Roach like he was a badass killer. That was not the expression he was wearing on his face the whole fight.
Well, let's let.
Can I go now?
Yes, Gypsy, go ahead. Go ahead, Gypsy.
Okay.
Gypsy.
Well, what I saw in the fight, there's no like hate. I don't like Actually, I like both these dudes. I think they got dog, bro. I would like to see a second fight with these two, and I think Lamont will pull it off better than what he did this time around. This is my opinion. But the thing is, I like both of them. I commend both of them for how they performed. They were saying this fight's going to be boring. They say this fight is boring. This fight was the shit. I liked it. And because they showed technique from Cruz that I saw before, and I saw. I mean, I already knew Roach had technique. I just the question with him was, is his chin gonna hold up? And I think it was. And how I scored it was the first 2 rounds. I saw him boxing Cruz until Cruz caught him in the third. I gave the third round to Cruz, obviously, and then from the 4th round to the 6th round. It was a pick 'em. You could have given 2 rounds to each guy. You could have given 2 for him, 2 for him. And then the 4 rounds, 7, 8, 9, and 10, Cruz was acting like the Cruz that I don't know. Like what was happening was because in the exchanges, even though he was landing 1 shot, he was getting hit with 3 shots. And he wasn't liking what was happening. Even though his 1 shot is more effective because he's more of a power puncher than Roach's, that pissed him off, that 3-1 difference, or whatever it is, 2-1 difference, 3-1 difference. Roach was having the best of him, so he decided to back foot to catch him, and he caught him a couple of times back foot, but that's not his thing. His thing is going forward, and so at the later part of the fight, which was somewhere around 10 to 12, he decided, you know what, fuck that, this ain't working for me. I'm gonna go back to what I know best, which is front foot, and he still lost the 11th, but you can make an argument, just like BDA is saying, that the 11th, because he got the exchange the last second, you could give it to him. But it was not enough because majority of the 11th, it was Roach. 12th, I gave it to fucking Cruz. For sure. So ultimately, when I scored it, it was like either 115, 113, and you can make an argument for 116, 112 for Roach. There's no shame in that shit, bro. Like, they were both fucking good.
Let
this guy land a plane seat.
All right. Guys, let's not go on for 5 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
Mucho, 30 seconds. This is what I disagree with, Gypsy. So you're telling us, and people know this, dude. Like, okay, in boxing, you can change strategy. If a game plan is not working, like, Canelo Crawford, if something's not working, how can you not switch it up to have a little bit more success? Because not every round are you going to dominate like the round you were in previously. If you won the round before, it doesn't mean you're going to win the next round, because the other guy, he's also strong and you're going to get tired. So basically, you got to show a variation in your game plan. When Big Cruz started boxing and started changing the angles and circling the round robin, turning, I thought he was doing a very good job of boxing. And you could tell he worked out in his camp. It wasn't the same Cruz we saw before. So Cruz showed up with a different game plan. So when the going gets rough, and the other guy's going to have his moment, because he's always going to have them too. He did very well. And not all those exchanges, you could say that for that Lamont Roach won. People could box well. So what you're saying, what you're saying.
Let me ask you
no, hold on. What you're saying, hold on. What you're saying, if a fighter doesn't do what you usually expect him to do, it doesn't mean that he's stuck to that. You have the ability to change every time you fight, to add levels to your game, and that's what People Cruz did.
All right, sober.
Hold on,
Gypsy, you already spoke like for 5 minutes. Let's rotate.
Yeah, I want to agree with you, Gonzalo, bro. Because like I said, you're not allowed to box a different way. So when someone else changes when Crawford changes the way he's fighting in the fight, when Roach changes the way he's fighting in the fight, he's making adjustments that shows ring IQ. He's smarter than his opponent. When Cruz is doing it, it's like he's scared and he doesn't know what to do. He's frustrated, but he was having success.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't make any sense. There's like a gap in logic here that's not there. And another thing that I want to add to again with the commentators, bro, when they were going on the inside and Lamont Roach was getting forced into a fight because he was getting caught, so he had no choice but to exchange with Cruz. Cruz is winning the exchange, and I hear the commentators go, Roach not afraid to go toe to toe with Cruz, and he's losing the exchange. You know, it's like they find anything they can to twist it in the guy's favor.
Something positive. It's like, okay, he's losing. Who's winning the exchange? That's what we want to know. We don't care if he's afraid or not. He's a boxer. He's a boxer. First of all, he's a boxer. He shouldn't be afraid of anything. Like, he's a boxer. This is bullshit, man. This narrative.
And then after the fight, Bucho. Hold on. After the fight, Bucho, what do they? After the draw, they go immediately to Roach. How do you feel about that, champ? They robbed you again, right? And then after he talks, they go to Cruz and they ask Cruz, "Yo, he really took your punches. He really stepped up in your face. Are you impressed? Did he impress you with the way he fought?"
He was supposed to run like a bitch. That's what. See, this is ridiculous. And by the way, in between rounds, they always showed Lamont Roach's highlights. Remember that? We were watching the fight. We were like, okay, what are they gonna do now? That one left hook, or that one punch that Lamont Roach landed. That's what they show in the replay. I'm like, come on, he didn't win that round.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so we're having this back and forth, but when are we gonna accept the judges' scores? Because it seems like people don't want to accept what the judges see. Because if we use that logic, right? Let me just finish the point. Is that Cruz actually got robbed? Because one judge has seen it decisively for Cruz, the other two had it a draw. And we know that was because of the deduction. So Cruz actually got robbed.
I mean, look. Yep. I'd have to rewatch the fight, but to your again, because I'm not going to call it a robbery. But what I will say is Lomachenko versus Haney. Lomachenko was backing Haney up, landing the cleaner shots upstairs. All of a sudden, the body shots from Haney, who's getting backed up, count. Whereas Lomachenko's taking the body shots and he's not backing up. So clean, effective punching. It wasn't exactly effective because he wasn't backing Lomachenko up. So after the fight, I still remember people calling in saying, stop complaining about the judges. The judges are professionals. You can't complain about the judges. Stop complaining, blah, blah, blah. Now all of a sudden I hear, and you know what? A couple of months later, when Ngannou fought Tyson Fury, it was only a couple of months after the Lomachenko-Haney fight, and people who were saying there's no such thing as robbery started crying robbery. So again, as with the whole sanctioning body thing and the clinching and all that, can we all get on the same page and start being consistent? Because there's a lot of people out there that aren't. Also, from what I get here from people in the chat, in the panel, is that there's a whole lot of thing going on about the body language. Who was, more calm, or who was calmer, who wasn't, who was losing. So, Bucho, let's go to Bucho, and you got some quotes from the post-fight interviews in the press conference. Let's go through them a little bit and see what each guy said.
All right, let's try to go quickly through this. Roach said, I proved that I'll fight anyone. Obviously, this is not my natural weight. Okay, so interesting. And then he says 2 times in a row now, I can't fight both the opponent and the judges. It's something that we got to do. It's something that we got to do about it. Okay, I just need an even playing field, he says. So he's complaining about, being a victim again. He also said, I think I broke my hand in the 5th round. So he broke his hand in the 5th round. He wasn't holding his hand or anything during the press conference, though. He had a bag of ice on his mouth the whole time. Then somebody asked him why that style. Hold on, just quickly. Then he asked him, why did you fight that way early on? I guess they were talking about exchanging. He says, well, Cruz gave me leeway, and when he did, I took it. I was comfortable. When I backed him up, he got confused. He was like, why is this not working? And then he also said, I disrupted him and started to win rounds, and that is after I broke my hand. So he was like, even with a broken hand, I basically outboxed the guy. They also asked his trainer.
I mean, he should, because he's the taller, longer guy, and if he is truly more skillful, then he should be doing that. If he's not, then he won't be able to do that.
That broken hand excuse. He's like, I don't got no excuses, right? But but by the way, my hand. I think I did break my.
Did he make an excuse off of the broken hand?
No. The funniest thing about his broken right hand is that the whole press conference, he's squeezing on an ice pack, like a cold ice pack, and he's holding it up to his lip. So it's really hard to believe that you have a broken hand, that you're ripping the fuck out of this ice pack. You know what I mean? Usually they have their hands spread out, like wrapped up, like flat with some ice.
Tank broke his hand on him. Tank broke his hand on Cruz's head.
No, he didn't. That's the thing, though. No, he didn't, though. They're lying. Don't you get it?
Okay, maybe you're lying. I wouldn't know.
Have you seen? Look. Andy Ruiz broke his hand against Jarrell Miller, right? He took his glove off in the ring and he showed everybody how fucking swollen, how fucked up his hand looked. It looked like a broken hand. These guys, they show a photo like 2 days later of a little bit of swelling. Oh, his hand's broken. You get on like right there. Roach is right there gripping on the ice pack like it's like nothing's wrong with his hand, bro. It's not true. It's not. He's lying.
It's probably like different levels, man. Some people get sprained.
Then,
Some
okay,
people
so
get
yeah, so
cracked.
maybe it wasn't broken. Maybe it was just bruised. You know what I'm saying?
You believe it or
looked
not,
like
you
shit.
can't tell him
He
to
said
believe
that
it.
because he looked like shit. That's why, and he got his ass
Well,
whooped.
Exactly.
Bro,
Thank
you're
you.
the one
They all do
here.
it.
maybe it wasn't
Shut it.
He looked
Maybe
like
it wasn't
trash, and he got
broken.
his ass whooped.
Maybe it wasn't broken. Part of Roach's frustration is because Pitbull Cruz has very underrated defense. The whole thing about him showing you the crown of his head, because he knows it's hard as fuck.
Yeah,
He
but that
doesn't want to
dude,
get clipped on the face.
the guy
And
didn't
he
even
has
hurt
a-
his
and he
hand.
has a-
He
Hold
fucked
on,
this
hold
shit
on.
up.
And he has a real tight guard. He knows how to keep
Yeah.
his gloves pinned to the side of his rib cage and protect his face. So you don't have a real clear
Yeah.
shot. And that's why Lamar Roach was looking real frustrated. He's not easy to hit, dude. I'm telling you, he's not
Well,
easy to hit.
both
All right,
guys.
Yeah, but that
Lamont Roach's
I saw
trainer, he
everybody-
said. Lamont Roach's trainer said we prepared for any type of fight. We sparred with pressure fighters. We could have fought that type of fight all night, like exchanging. He says we could have made
Yeah,
it
right.
much easier on our end. We could have made it much easier on our end by making it boring, but we decided not to do it. So, like they decided
Yeah,
to.
you
like,
know
fight
that's
this way.
complete bullshit, right? Because the only thing, look, initially in the beginning of the fight, he was backing up, and the dude beat the fuck out of him. He was actually beating him easier when he was taking steps back. That's what Pitbull does. He uses his momentum, and he comes at you, and he catches you when you're backing up. He started having.
Bullshit gotta stop, my boy. That bullshit gotta stop. What actually happened was
What are you talking about bullshit?
Yeah,
What you're saying is you know, the bullshit's got to stop. What you're saying is
The
bullshit.
bullshit gotta stop, my guy. The bullshit gotta stop. Every time
No, I'll tell you what happened. Look, with Lamont Roach, he was pushing on this guy, pushing him off balance.
I've heard this statement before.
Yeah, yo, bro, you've been talking forever.
Yeah, you
You
said
got
5
it. We
minutes
heard you
ago.
last night. You don't know what you're talking about.
Guys, let's go through before we continue. Let's get through just quickly to hear. There's more stuff here. When did you break your hand? They asked Lamont. He says, I don't remember, but I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to make any excuses. Thank you. For the most part, I blocked and slipped his punches. I got the better of Cruz in the exchange. I got the better of Cruz in the exchanges. He seriously says that. And then he says, I don't want to make excuses. I just did well enough to win with a broken hand. Blah blah blah. I wasn't hurt. He just hit me with a good shot. I stumbled. What else?
Is there AI
version? Can you guys pop an AI version of
Dude,
the scoring of this fight?
Who cares? He wants that Tank Davis bag. So
Hey, Bubba, hold on.
That Tank Davis paycheck.
Can I just say
That's
something
why he's
real quick?
flying his ass off.
Can I just say something real quick in the chat? Can I just say something real quick? Tap in the chat says Cruz got his ass beat the fuck up. Roach had Cruz out there sticking his tongue out like a freak hoe. He was frustrated. Cruz didn't box like he usually does. He has to stop holding and headbutting. Sobers, this goes to your point that when other fighters do it, it's a sweet science. When Cruz does it, he's frustrated. He got his ass beat. He's getting backed up.
Yeah,
I go,
it's all
I don't know. That sounds like a double standard.
Backed up. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So BDA, when
Roach is doing crazy rapid punches, dude, and low blows.
Look, hold on. Look, when Roach gets hit with the big shot and he goes flying across the fucking ring, right? And he turns around and he shakes his head no. That means he wasn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? And you see Cruz bouncing up on his toes. He's frustrated clearly. So look, but this is one thing that they're trying to talk about. Cruz being frustrated and whoop-de-whoop. Let me break that shit down. All right. So when you see a boxer lift up his opponent, that's a sign of frustration, correct? When Canelo lifted up Crawford early, it's because he was frustrated. When Canelo lifted up Bivol, he was frustrated. When Roach lifted up Cruz in the second round, it's because he was getting his ass whooped and he was getting frustrated.
Hey, when Crawford sticks his fucking tongue out against Masvidal, for example, Crawford sticks his tongues out. Look, he was in control. Actually, somebody said that 2 shows ago. He says he was sticking his tongue out, so like as if that showed that he was confident or in control of the fight. He was clowning around. But God forbid, Cruz fucking sticks his tongue out. He didn't get a big deal out of it. He's desperate. These are, I'm telling you, they're biased, but whatever.
Do you know what clean effective tongue
He
is?
was
Let me
getting
finish
hit
my
with
point
low
real quick.
blows. He was getting hit with low blows with no call.
Hold on, let me
He
finish
was
my point
getting
real
hit
quick.
in low blows without no call.
Hold on,
That's
bro.
why
Let me
he
finish
Shut
my.
up.
Let me
Lamont
finish my
Roach was
point,
throwing
dude.
all kinds of low blows. He's a cheap bitch.
So,
And he's a
Oh
middleweight,
my
pretending he's
God, bro! You
small.
call that fool?
so,
He's
so
a
look, but
middleweight.
look, hold on. Look, so look, Lamont Roach when he picked up Cruz in the second round, that was a clear sign of frustration, right? And then the next
Yeah, it
sign of
was.
frustration was every single time they got an exchange and he didn't win it, he was looking at the ref and throwing his hands up, like do something about this. To the point, bro, where he started acting like Gervonta Davis against Lamont Roach, right? He didn't like that Cruz. He threw a punch that kind of glanced on the bell line, and then he threw a left hook that landed cleanly. And he looks at the referee, he throws his hands up, and he turns his back and he starts walking off. That's a sign of submission in the fucking ring, dude. That's a sign of frustration. You don't like the way things are going. When Gervonta Davis, shut the fuck up. When Gervonta Davis took a knee and turned his back on Roach, everyone's saying he's frustrated. He's that's a sign of submission. You don't do that to your opponent. You don't turn your back to your opponent. So why the fuck was Roach complaining about Davis when he does the exact same thing to his opponent in the next fight?
Well, he needed protection. It was getting too hot in the
Yeah,
fucking
he needed
kitchen.
protection from the ref. You're right. He needed a
It
ref
was
to
too
protect him.
hot in that fucking kitchen. I told you that guy couldn't deal with that Pitbull Cruz guy. He can't. And if he
but
fights
wait
him
a minute,
again,
wait a minute.
Cruz is gonna lay him out. Cruz is
Wait
going
a
to
minute.
lay him out if they fight again.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Fu. You're saying, oh, Roach couldn't deal with it, but Isaac Cruz ended up getting tired. Isaac Cruz ended up getting tired in the second half.
Yeah, because he was wrestling with a middleweight. He was wrestling a middleweight in there. That guy's a total piece of shit coming in there saying, "Just say my weight." No, your weight is middleweight. Do you know how big that guy was?
They were both.
That
They
guy
were
is
both
much
clinching.
bigger
They
than
were.
him.
They were both clinching, man. I mean, I didn't see
most of it was Roach. Most
All
of
right,
it was
well,
him. He
listen.
had to wrestle that guy.
So
Most of it was all Roach.
the clinching from Pitbull Cruz.
None of that shit mattered, right? None
All
of
right,
that shit
look,
mattered.
Gypsy King, look.
I mean, when do you see Pitbull Cruz clinching up
All
like
right,
that?
all
He
right.
never
Listen,
does
listen,
in
listen.
any fight.
Hold on,
We gotta
let me make one more point.
Order.
We got to listen. We got to establish some. We got to establish an order. I'll let Gypsy go, and then Sobers, and then we got to move on here because we got a whole bunch of other subjects, and I want to open up the phone lines to get some people to call in. So Gypsy, you go, and then Sobers. All right, Gypsy, go ahead, please.
No, both of them got tired at a certain point in the fight. After maybe 6 or 7 rounds, they both got tired. They were showing signs of it. That's why they were clinching. Yes, Lamont Roach clinched, but he clinched strategically. He didn't just clinch like Devin Haney does at every fucking 5 seconds.
Wow.
I mean, he clinched strategically. But when Groves was fighting Eubanks and he was clinching consistently, nobody had a fucking problem with that because it fit the narrative that Groves had to win that fight between Eubanks. But apparently when this guy fucking does it, oh, it's a fucking problem. Listen, bro, when you clinch strategically, if it's once in every like a minute and a half, I got no problem with that shit. But if you're clinching every 5 seconds, yeah,
Dude, he was clinching all fight long, dude. He was clinching all fight.
Clinching is illegal.
Roach was
Holding is
initiating
illegal.
99% of those clinches.
Okay, bro,
There's no such
he
thing
got
as strategic
frustrated
clinching, man.
because
Come
the
on.
ref, because look, I agree with like what you guys are saying. I don't think the ref did his job properly. I completely agree because there was multiple low blows that fucking Cruz threw, and then there was a headbutt somewhere in between the fourth or the third or fourth, somewhere on there. He was blatant headbutt. He didn't call for it, nothing, and that's why that fool was complaining. Like the negro he is, he's gonna fucking complain. That's how they are. So he's gonna complain about that shit. That rightfully so. But there was 2 incidences where Cruz did not do anything, and that was the later part of the fucking fight, and he still complained. And that was not okay. But the beginning of the fight, Cruz did some dirty ass tactics, bro. He would throw up, down, low, and you could clearly see he's throwing low. It was blatant. And
All right. Gypsy, you need to like wrap up your thought. Gypsy, you can. Okay, you can. Gypsy, try to wrap like okay because we can't hold like 5 minutes. All right, hold on, guys.
Hey, listen. I'll say this though. I'll say this. Sobers just said I forgot what I was gonna say, but that's Gypsy magic. I mean, that's your fault if you forget. I mean, he hypnopatizes people, and if you can't keep up with him, you can't keep up.
No, when you talk
let me see if there's more. They asked Lamont Roach, do you want a rematch?
Hold on. I said Sobers. If you remember what you were gonna say, let us know.
I'll say it right now. I was just playing. But so when you guys are talking about the Cruz initiating clinches, he did, right? But For me, the way I saw it was Cruz pretty much had the first 6 rounds pat, right? The first 5 or 6 rounds, it was easy for him. In that 6th round, when they took the point away, it looked like he hit a breaking point of frustration, right? And that's when he started switching up his style a little bit. That's when he did start doing more, more clinches and shit, because he looked frustrated. That I would have been frustrated, bro. They took a point for basically no reason, right? And then so later on he gets his head back in the game. He comes back and gets aggressive and he wins the championship rounds, right? Aren't those supposed to count for more? And everybody crying a robbery for Roach. Everyone crying for a robbery for Roach.
The dude won the 11th and 12th round.
If that referee, look, we can all agree that point was taken away for no reason. If they hadn't taken that point away, then Cruz wins a UD. He wins on all 3 judges' scorecards. So I don't want to hear that shit for.
You know the crazy thing is the fact that the fight wasn't even close enough for that point to even have an effect on the outcome. He still should have won, even with a point deduction.
Yeah.
They made that shit all up. Oh, it's super close. It's controversial. And now they want to do it again. Double dip on that shit. And then you got Tank Davis who comes out again. That's fucking garbage, dude. That dude beat that guy very, very clearly. When I saw that guy put his hands in the air and like, I won. It's like, go fuck yourself. And then he's like, I won, but my hand was also broken. It's like,
it goes to my point.
It goes to my
already,
dude.
It goes to my point of
we don't give a shit if you want Roach's balls.
It goes to my point that okay. Hold on, please. Hold on. It goes to my point that if both fighters are gonna be dirty, allow both of them to be dirty. Like Fritzy Civic versus Henry Armstrong, the first one. The ref said, you guys want to be dirty? Go ahead. And it was one of the, apparently, there's no video of it, but apparently it was one of the dirtiest fights ever. Now, on the one hand, I prefer that than if the referee allows one guy to be dirty and not the other. But he ended up deducting a point from Cruz. Hold on. He ended up deducting a point from Cruz for holding and hitting. But like I said, Roach was doing the same thing. So that's my problem with it. That's my problem with it. Why allow?
The big problem, the reason they did that is because he dropped the guy. So they had to take that point from him in order to create that controversy. Oh, it's razor close. And the only reason he didn't win is because the point deduction. That's all artificial. That dude he didn't win enough rounds for that point to really matter that much. I don't know what people are scoring, but that guy very clearly lost.
Guys, during the press conference, hold on, Gypsy. During the press conference, there was this reporter who sounded a little bit biased, I think. He says, like, he asked, do you think that some people had the fight close because you let Cruz throw a lot of punches and that managed to impress the judges, even though a lot of those punches weren't landing? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And then he's like, he missed a lot of punches, blah, blah, blah. I stood my ground, not because he forced me to, but because I wanted to. And then the same guy asked him another question. Do you think the crowd had anything to do with it? Because every time Cruz landed a punch, they were yelling. And he's like, of course, the crowd played a factor, because they were yelling. So this is what some people are. This is how they rationalize this fight. This is how they're rationalizing it. Oh, the crowd has something to do with this.
Did you hear what the commentator was saying in there? It was fucking crazy. When the fight ended, he's like, I know who won. I know who won this fight, but I'm not going to say. And then like a second later, he's like, Pitbull Cruz didn't do enough.
But Bucho,
basically just telling the people in the broadcast who
Bucho, Gypsy, stop, man. Damn, let me speak. I haven't spoken yet, man.
Gypsy.
A blabbermouth.
Interrupted me twice, bro. That's the reason why.
You've been top dog. I haven't spoken in like 10 minutes. Stop.
Go ahead, Frank.
Oh my goodness, God. Okay, hey. So yeah, wasn't Pitbull in Fight of the Year? Was there? I don't remember a lot of clinching versus Ryo. Do you guys?
Oh, that's a good point. Ryo did it relative. I'd have to rewatch it. I don't recall. I know Gervonta Davis did. He clinched a lot against Tank. Tank clinched a lot against Cruz, and we were one of the few people who complained about it. Nobody complained about it. Now all of a sudden it's a problem for them. I mean, again, it's selective bias. I mean, people want to be. I mean, selective enforcement of the rules. Now I want to say this though, because I mean, this is going to take too long though. This whole discussion about the psychology and the body language. It deserves a rematch. I think we can all agree on that. And speaking of rematches, Bill Haney, a convicted drug dealer and the master of smokes and mirrors, had this to say about a rematch.
Last night, Lamont, Senior, Junior, Cruz, great fight. Don't hang your heads even a little bit, because it was a great fight. Senior, Junior, Now you box at an elite level.
Elite level.
When you doing your thing. So let's get back to the rematch and box his ears off.
That guy can't box that guy.
Why is he tweaking or something? Why does he keep looking side to side like he's expecting the cops to come in or something? All right, let me just finish. Let me.
He's racist, man.
Hold on. There's more, guys.
Lamont
There's
Roach ain't
more.
even that great of a boxer.
Hold on. Play. Hold on.
Listen to this.
Do the Devin Haney, huh? Do the Devin Haney, huh?
So he wants more clinching, is what he's saying then.
Yeah, he wants to fight like my son. Ruin your career, basically.
Yeah, no, he's a piece of shit. But it does look, man. I have one thing to say when FUTV just jumped in. See, the thing is, when Roach says, I was fighting my fight, but I chose to fucking fight his fight, that's not true. That's a lie. So he was having success going on the back foot. But when Cruz cracked him, because Cruz can crack a lot better than fucking Roach does, so if Roach lands 3 punches, it doesn't phase Cruz, as much as Cruz landing 1 shot. So what happened was, once he got hurt, slightly hurt, he chose to fight him on the inside because he couldn't be on the back foot like that, and he would have success. Sometimes he wouldn't. Majority of times he did. So that's the game. That's how it was. He couldn't choose to do that. Just like how what's his name, Abdullah Mason, claiming that I could have been on the back foot against Noakes. No, you couldn't have, bitch.
Yeah.
You could not have done that because he was fucking clipping you every time you went back on your back foot. And when you came forward, he still clipped you. Your best success was to fight him. And that's the only success he had. And that's how
he was kind of cheating,
actually. Let him finish. Let him finish.
I kind of edged it out for him because he had better moments against Noakes. But Noakes, that was a fucking close ass fight. That was a very close fight between him and Abdul. Much closer than this shit. This was not really close. But I'm gonna sugarcoat it and say it was close, so we have a good rematch. Okay.
I tell you.
Whatever.
We need to rewatch the fight and score it round by round. That's the only way that this is going to settle this disagreement here on this panel. Now, I'm going to open up the phone lines. And while we do that, let's talk about the undercard. Because again, we've been talking for 49 minutes about one fight, and I don't think we're going to get anywhere unless we rewatch the fight. On the undercard, we had O'Shaquie Foster defeating Stephen Fulton, who was coming up in weight, blew the weight on top of that, and somehow still managed to get the WBC to sanction this fight, even though he missed the weight. O'Shaquie Foster, however, would not be denied and ended up winning by scores of 118-110, 119-109, and 117-111. I got to tell you, there was no controversy in this fight other than the fact that 117-111 card. I didn't see Fulton winning 3 rounds. Again, maybe I need to rewatch it. Maybe I'm being biased. But O'Shaquie Foster had an easy time with Fulton. Anyone surprised, or what were your thoughts?
I think I gave him 1 round. The fight was terrible. It was a terrible fight. It's not surprising. And I didn't know that I didn't really remember Foster being that big. Like, he was way bigger than that guy.
Well, Fulton, like we were talking about earlier, in the week, Stephen Fulton 2 years ago was at 122 pounder. Just recently moved up to 126. Right, so it's not I'm not surprised.
What's kind of annoying is that you could see Foster like at the very like the championship rounds, like the last 3-4 rounds, he could have stepped on the trigger like earlier. Same thing he did with Rocky Juarez. He just very uneventful throughout the first part of the fight, in the middle, but in the very end, when he understands, okay, maybe the other guy's more tired than me, he decides to box in a way that makes him a lot more exciting. So you can tell that he has the ability, if he just finds his nuts, to be a little bit more entertaining. That way the people won't complain, oh, you're fucking boring. So I'm just saying he's a good boxer, but he also's got some power. He can punch. It's just he has to find the courage to get off a little bit earlier and stay waiting to the very end, and that's why his fights are boring.
Well, I didn't. He was a little bit more offensive than usual in this one. He wasn't exactly jumping back, and in a way, that's because, like Fu said, Fulton was coming up in weight, so maybe that allowed O'Shaquie Foster to be a little bit more confident. But a lot of people were expecting a close fight, and it certainly wasn't that.
Yeah.
Foster just controlled.
He did
Yes.
well. He did good for about one round.
Mhm.
Fulton. He had to
Yeah,
walk
that's
the
it,
guy
yeah.
into shots. That dude does not overcommit. That's the thing. He's got that reach, and he used it really well. He wasn't going to beat that guy. He had.
Well, that's it.
The only way to beat that guy was if he came forward like Pitbull Cruz.
That's a great point there, because like I was telling people, Fulton can fight on the inside. He did it against Angelo Leo and he did it against Figueroa twice. But there's a difference between knowing how to fight on the inside and getting on the inside. Fulton, if a guy doesn't go to him, he doesn't know how to get on the inside. Same thing with Foster. These guys know how to handle themselves on the inside, but they don't know how to cut the ring off. Or maybe maybe Foster does, but he doesn't want to. I don't know. All I know is we rarely see them do it. And when Fulton needed to do it, he was completely clueless. He didn't know what to do. And let's listen. I'm not a professional trainer, so what do I know? But Bo Zienis, Fulton's trainer, kept telling him throughout the fight, even deep into the fight when it was clear he was getting outboxed, he kept telling him, "Yo, what are you doing? Let your hands go. Let your hands go." I'm thinking, come, listen. He's trying to let his hands go, but he can't get past the reach. They mentioned that Foster has some freakishly long reach. I'm sorry, man, but instructions like "let your hands go." It reminded me when Ennis rematched the Karen, and Bozy Ennis's instructions were on par with what we saw last night. Let your hands go. What are you doing? There was even one point in the Ennis fight against Karen in the rematch that Ennis goes back to the corner, and Bozy Ennis just stands in front of him, holding his, placing his hands by his sides, like a police officer. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, he's not saying, he stood silent for about 20 seconds. I'm thinking, bro, you got a minute to blur out instructions, and he's wasting 20 seconds being dramatic. I gotta tell you, Bozy Ennis, he really, maybe no trainer could have helped. But yeah, but look, maybe no trainer could have helped. Maybe no trainer.
The problem was
maybe
his
no
feet.
trainer could. Maybe no trainer could have helped Fulton last night. But I would have liked to have heard different instructions than just let your hands go.
There would be BDA. There would be a better trainer for that. Bozian is like Frank Bay is saying, he's getting exposed. Frank Bay is on point. Your prophecy is going to be fulfilled, my boy. That fool is a fucking clown of a fucking coach. There is ways for him, for Fulton to get in there. He did manage to get an overhand or something in there. It's just the way he went about. Just let your hands go. Like, give him better instructions. What the fuck is that, man? What are you fucking trying to say? Get his hand. Tell him to duck at the jab. Do something. Parry the fucking jab coming in. Throw this. Nothing. Bro, he had nothing for it. Foster schooled the shit out of that boy. He didn't win a single fucking round. All 12 rounds he got schooled. I was surprised he didn't even get stopped. I mean, it shows the heart of Fulton that he kept going, taking that punishment. But then again, Foster apparently doesn't have much of a punch on him. And on top of that, Foster, this is off topic a little bit, kind of surprised me. He said between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, that's a bad matchup for Shakur Stevenson, because whenever Shakur deals with somebody as athletic or more athletic than him, he doesn't know what to do. This is Foster.
Well, speaking
Foster knows
of,
how to box. I know he knows how to box.
speaking of Shakur Stevenson, Foster and Stevenson were going at it yesterday. Hey, I thought I had a tweet here. Anyway, he was also going after Raymond Ford. Well, no, he wasn't going after Raymond Ford. They were just going at it. But Raymond Ford and O'Shaquie Foster have been beefing, as they like to say, on Twitter for about a year now. But anyway, Shakur Stevenson got in on the action, criticizing O'Shaquie Foster, and O'Shaquie Foster replied by saying, "The little son wants some attention so bad," because apparently Shakur Stevenson was having one of his yearly meltdowns on Twitter, and then check this out. Shakur Stevenson replied 4 times, "Nice little bank on this hidden ass N-word," because he claims he plays money on O'Shaquie Foster. Then he says, "He's taking advantage of a natural 122-pounder. This shit don't impress me. I knew the strategy behind the move for real, for real." Well, first of all, Shakur Stevenson, when he was at 126, 130, and even right now 135, he's bigger than most of his opponents. And he can't put a dent on most of them. So I don't know why he's criticizing O'Shaquie Foster. And then he said, "And I said what I said. Now tell these hating ass N-words, come to enter 135, where he got 2 losses already against bumps." I mean, he lost against Conceição, and that's a guy that Stevenson had to low ball 50 times in the fight just to get a win. So again, Shakur Stevenson just really placing his foot in his mouth. And then he says Cepeda would beat him fast. Because again, this is what Shakur Stevenson always does. He bigs up his opponent. Like, remember when Padley, the electrician, ended up getting a win in Saudi Arabia or something? And Shakur Stevenson says, I told you this guy was good. So, anyway, final thing, O'Shaquie Foster said, boys hurting Hayden like a motherfucker. So, hey.
He's probably saying that because he knows that dude would beat him. You know that Foster dude? If they ever fought, I think that guy would completely school Shakur. Completely.
That'd be a nightmare to watch.
Shakur has a 68-inch reach. 68-inch reach. That guy has a 72.
Yeah, it would be a horrible
Fulton
fight.
Has a 70-inch reach. His reach is longer than Shakur's.
You were connected.
And look what
Foster
he did
don't
to that
like
guy.
to let his hands go, though.
That guy could
Foster,
not touch him with a punch.
That's a nightmare matchup. I mean, both guys wouldn't want to let their hands go. The only reason Foster, I'm going to pump the brakes on this. I mean, he had a dead man walking in front of him. Fulton had no business in there. I think Joe Goosen said it was a disgrace that, you know, if that was his fighter, he would take the blame. So I think he was taking a shot at that fraud, Boozy Ennis. You know, they were calling him trainer of the year. Like, come on, we got. That's why I'm saying we got to pump the brakes and all this these narratives. But as far as O'Shaquie Foster, I mean, he looks like an average 135er. I mean, a Zepeda would be a good matchup. I guess Frank Martin looked somewhat decent, but I'm not impressed with it. I mean, he should have got the knockout like Gonzalo was saying, but that's not the type of fighter he is. He's okay, but
yeah.
I mean, that wasn't.
He punches a little harder than his core. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but it wasn't a quality win. It was a subpar win considering who Fulton was.
I mean, but how many subpar wins has Shakur had? I mean, come on. Who's he to talk to anybody negative like in that way?
Well, no, I'm just pumping the brakes on this.
He completely shut Fulton down, dude. The guy had him winning one round of that fight.
Yeah,
I don't think Shakur could do that against that guy.
Well, listen, but keep in mind again, Fulton was coming up from 126, where he just recently moved up to. And think about it this way. Put it this way: Inoue fought Fulton at his natural weight, and ended up not only outboxing him but stopping him. O'Shaquie Foster, the bigger guy, couldn't do it. So let's start giving Inoue a little bit of credit here, because I know a lot of people, he's a Japanese little guy. People don't respect the little guys, but hey, look at what Inoue's resume is actually aging quite well.
BD for sure, but Foster is like what's his name say? Ice water. He doesn't like with this dude. I noticed like his emotion, even if he got him hurt, he literally is how his name is. He put his nickname, or someone else probably did. He just like no emotion. Even if he had slightly hurt Fulton, there was no like, I'm just gonna stick to the game plan.
Right.
Nothing's gonna change. I'm just gonna box
He tried to hurt him at the end of the fight. He tried that.
Yeah, but let me just say this: the difference is when we were watching Ramos and Mosley, and Ramos had him out, he was going for it, and that's the difference. This O'Shaquie, he doesn't want to take chances. Like Ramos had it pretty much in the bag to me, but he was still taking chances trying to get the guy out of there. O'Shaquie, he'll never take a chance unless he's absolutely desperate.
Which, by the way, cost him in the first Conceição fight, and could have cost him in the second one, but the judges gave it to him. But you got to let your hands go, man. You can't leave anything to chance most of these in some of these fights. Let's go to the phone lines real quick here. Don't forget to hit the like. The phone lines are open. Phone number right there in the left-hand middle portion of your screen. Let's go to 214. 214, you're on the air. 214, what's on your mind? Oh, shit, hold on. I can't, hold on. Go ahead now. Yes, you're on the air.
Regarding Fulton versus what's his name, Foster. I've been picking Foster. I've been ever since I saw him beat Ray Vargas. I'm like, I knew this guy was going to be a problem. I just didn't see how Fulton was going to beat him, even if he did train and got ready. Because I heard that he wasn't really training like that. So even if he did train, I still think Foster won the fight.
Of course. Well, yeah. But why did? That's what I was thinking. Fulton showed up, didn't make weight, and then people were pointing out that he looked pudgy. You're saying you heard that he wasn't training properly?
Someone showed some tweets on Twitter just saying that he was out there eating and trying to party, and some guy was trying to tell him. He said, "Hey, lock in. Foster's no joke." He said, "I deserve to have fun." You know, when a fighter says that stuff, I know it's done.
I don't believe. Sorry, I find it hard to believe because Fulton, the way, like when he fought Angelo Leo and Figueroa, he showed very good stamina. I'm surprised that he would show up to this fight thinking he could eat pancakes and party and still beat this dude, especially at a higher weight class. That's insane to me.
Yeah, but there are different type of guys. Just because you move up doesn't mean the guy is necessarily bigger than you. But in this case, Oshaki's bigger and he's longer, so he's never had to contend with guys with such a long reach. That's hard for a lot of small guys to get in. We need more trainers to teach guys how to get in with these guys with longer reach and cut the distance so they can punch them on the inside, because if you're on the outside, you're just a sitting target. And that's where he was most of the time. He was on the outside because Oshaki's got good distance management and he's got good counters too. So he couldn't get in on the inside. You're just a sitting target. And yeah, that's
interesting. Yeah.
Oshaki did his thing. But yeah, even though I watched the fight, I thought Oshaki could have done more. That's the problem with Oshaki. He's in control of this fight. But he could do more. He could be throwing more punches. He could be throwing uppercuts, more combinations. But he doesn't. He just does sparingly. And people just say, "Oh, it's a master class." I'm like, yeah, he controlled the fight, but it was kind of boring at the same time, even though he was doing good.
Kind of boring.
Caller,
I'm like.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, like that's the problem with Shockey. Even when he would beat Ray Vargas, I'm like, he could have been throwing more punches.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as for Pitbull, he started out great. I thought he started out real good. But as the fight went on to the mid half, man, he started missing and he started to clinching a lot. He was the one initiating the clinches. I'm like, man, this dude clinched like 7 times in a round. I'm like, every time I get close, he would try to hold Lamont close. I'm like, come on, bro. And then
he was
a dirty fighter. He tried to hit, but yeah, go ahead.
He was doing what Floyd does. He
All
was
right,
doing
all
what Floyd did
Yeah,
his entire career and didn't lose a single fight. You know what's crazy? That Floyd did that for an entire career, and he didn't lose a single point.
All right, Fu, let the finish.
In any fight.
Let the caller finish, and then we'll move on. Go ahead, caller, please. Yeah.
Pitbull, he started out good, but he even jabbed way more than I thought he would. He's starting to jab more. That's good, but he didn't jab nowhere near enough. And then it started to get weird because it was kind of hard to score because he would be missing a lot, and that's the problem with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach isn't really a jabber. He needs to start getting on his jab. He's got good in pocket skills, but he needs to. If he would have used his jab more, he probably would have won this fight more concisely.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Listen, that you're absolutely right. Some excellent points right there, caller. Now, listen, we got to move on here, but good call. Call back next time, right? Take it easy out there.
All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Don't forget, people, the phone lines are open. Make sure to call in. And I agree with the caller. That's true, though. Lamont Roach, even, against Gervonta Davis and against Hector Luis Garcia, those guys are southpaws. Righties tend not to jab too much against southpaws, although they should. But now he was fighting a guy, same stance, and he wasn't jabbing. You're fighting a guy like Cruz, who's shorter and going to be coming forward. You want to be able to meet him with a jab. And every once in a while, when he would throw the jab, it would actually connect. But I have to rewatch the fight. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I feel like he could have thrown more jabs. Like I said, don't forget the phone lines are open.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, in regards to the clinching, coming from Pitbull Cruz, I could even say it about Lamont Roach. I think there's a difference between intentional clinching and just clinching because you collapse on each other in a certain way because every body frame is different. I just had to say that it probably takes a little skill how to avoid a clinch with a different type of a fighter, because that's just the way you fall into each other. It's just weird.
Well, it was a little bit like
on purpose.
Yeah, it was a little bit like Fury Wilder, where both guys are jumping, falling into each other, and then clinching. But it makes for a very displeasing type of fight. I don't like it, and I would rather the referee enforce the rules and prevent both guys from clinching. But I mean,
BD, I think he did enough jabs.
Maybe they're
I
in the
think he
door.
did enough jabs, but the thing is, with too much jabs, it's going to be a very easy setup for a Cruz's fucking overhand fucking right coming down the pipe. You know what I mean? He was gonna throw something or a hook up over the fucking the jab or something, bro. He was gonna catch him, so he didn't do that enough. He just did it just the right amount. The problem was that when he threw punches, that's why he got caught with that the third round. He got dropped, but that was like a flash knockdown. He wasn't really seriously hurt because he was on his back foot, like he says, and I saw that he was on his back foot and he got clipped. He was off balance, so one of his hands touched the ground. He kind of slightly maybe stunned a little bit, but not like seriously fucking hurt. And his defense, he needs to work on his defense a little bit more if he wants to fight inside a lot more, because he's a good inside fighter. He's also good at far, but his defense has to be a little bit more tweaked up to make it more evident that he's the one winning almost every exchange. Because if he hits three and he gets hot with a heavy puncher like Cruz, and he's gonna look like he's the one kind of hurt, that makes a difference in people's eyes. They can't really see that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna.
He got hurt a lot in that fight. That dude got his brains beaten.
So did Cruz, but Cruz has a fucking chin on
not
him, bro.
really. He ate some slaps.
You saw Cruz's face?
All the punches, really.
Okay, slaps.
He ate some good headbutts. He ate some nice headbutts.
Cruz's face. Cruz's face.
Yeah, but
he had like two tiny little marks. That dude, I'm gonna analyze that fight again. I'm gonna show people that guy was throwing open hand slaps. He was getting brain damage, Lamont Roach, in that fight. He's eating like fucking 4 giant hooks in a row.
Yeah, but let me say something on that though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I heard people saying, Isaac got hurt, but I never seen it, and you can't really say it's because he has an iron chin. Either you get hurt or not. Like, why can't we just say who landed the harder punches? To me, it was Cruz. He landed the harder punches, to what Fu was saying. And if Lamont is kind of landing slapping shots, then we need to acknowledge that it doesn't get pointed out enough that Isaac was rocking them, hitting them with the harder shots. That was pretty easy for me to see.
You guys missed that rank. Apparently, everybody missed that left fucking he landed that almost fucking got Cruz off balance, and similar to the third
but
round.
See, Gypsy, I gotta stop you there. But Gypsy,
slap.
Wait. You're presupposing. You're saying almost doesn't count. You know what I mean? If you don't cross the goal line, if he's not visibly shaken, then how can you for sure say that? We seen Roach visibly shaken.
Yeah, Frank, bro. Golovkin fought Devinchenko. Devinchenko looked like he was Mr. Potato Head, but he won that fight. Fucking Golovkin had a body shot injury, and the ref stepped in to save his ass from and the same thing happened backwards. That was the most weirdest fucking ref ever too. And when Golovkin hurt him,
Gypsy, I'm gonna have to just interrupt you.
That was a different fight. That's a different fight. Golovkin didn't like.
I'm not gonna let Gypsy go somewhere else. But Bucho and BDA, because you guys are the hosts, what I'm saying is, who did we think landed the harder shots? Because I don't think it gets highlighted enough. It's almost like slapping shots count more.
Well, I'll say this, man.
Nobody's saying that.
But that's why I'm saying that. Oh, go ahead, Bucho. Go ahead.
Did somebody mention the? Well, no. Answer the question. Yeah, first. Harder punch.
I was gonna say he throws punches in between, and that wasn't slaps. He was throwing punches in between, and it was hurting him, but it was not enough because he's not the power puncher between the two.
Yeah, but you're acting as if they were both equally landing the same type of shots.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Power
Cruz was landing the
harder shots.
Why was the caller saying that he was clinching a lot? I'll give you an example. Why was it? It's because he's hurt. That's not fucking Cruz's style, bro. Cruz comes in, he doesn't allow you to clinch him whatsoever.
Listen, I agree with Gypsy. I agree with Gypsy that there was something going on with Cruz after the 6th round. Whether he was tired, hurt, or a combination of both, because Lamont Roach was tagging him with that counter left foot.
That big
but that
guy,
was hold on. Hold on. That was after the 6th round. When they were having more of a battle after the 2nd round, especially because that's when what's his name? Sober said Roach had to stand and trade a little bit more because he was forced to. That's when Cruz was landing the harder shots. Afterwards, he got tired, and that's when Roach started taking over. And then the last 2 rounds is what ended up causing the whole drama. Before we continue, let's go to the phone calls here. We got a wild card line. We got to go to the wild card. We got an anonymous calling in. I wonder if it's Agent Aphex. Apex rather. Let's go to Anonymous. Anonymous, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Is this me?
Yes, you're Anonymous.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
We're gonna call you Anon. Go ahead, Anon. What's on your mind?
All right, go watch them, please. Maybe you can call me Antonio.
Bring him in.
Hold on,
TV,
guys.
go on mute, bro.
I need silence, please. I need silence, please. I need silence on the panel. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, caller. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm enjoying the call, baby. I love it. My name is Antonio. I'm calling a longtime fan, and I'm trying to tell you all that this was a beautiful fight up until about 3 rounds, but I couldn't deal with the clinching. You know, there's just too much clinching, and I feel like the refs let these guys get away with clinching over and over again, and before you know it, the fight is unwatchable. And I don't know if I'm the only one that can see this, but I'm telling y'all now that all these fighters that come in here now, whether it's Devin Haney or whether it's this guy Lamar Roach, like, we can't watch these fights if the ref ain't gonna do something about it. I mean, am I the only one seeing this? I couldn't even watch the fight beyond 5 rounds. It was crazy.
Caller, you're preaching to the choir. The clinching, which, by the way, to be fair, went both ways yesterday. Although, again, I guess the argument here on the panel was who clinched more. Nevertheless, both guys clinched. And this goes back to my point, caller. If the referees enforce the rules, again, who can honestly tell me that the fight was more entertaining because of the clinching? Nobody can do that. Everyone's complaining about the clinching, whether it was from Cruz or whether it was from Roach. So that's what we keep saying here on this channel. Start enforcing the rules. Clinching, as per the IBO, the Association of Boxing Commissions, the WBA and the WBO, say that clinching is illegal. So that's all I'm going to say for now. So if you take away the clinching, you take away wrestling, you force guys to fight clean inside, and you get a more aesthetically pleasing fight instead of the rigmarole that we got to go through here post-fight. So, caller, we're right there with you, man.
And that's exactly why I want to call, because you guys are always on top of this. You guys are always on top of the clinching game, and you're one of the only shows that calls it out. There's no other show in the YouTube boxing universe that calls out clinching like you guys do. And that's why I wanted to call in and say, look, man, if we can't solidify this whole clinching problem that we have in boxing, that we don't have it since like Andre Ward and Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather, all these guys been clinching for years, ruining fights forever. And it's like now it's so flagrant and just it's disgusting. It's ruining fights. And nobody wants to call it out except for the BDA boxing show. That's why I didn't call it in.
Caller, first of all, I appreciate the kind words. And not only am I on top of the rules, I switch positions all over the place. I stretch out the rules and I show them to everybody. I am all over the rules. On top, I dominate, and nobody can say otherwise. So, caller, you're absolutely bang on. Anything else you want to say?
Well, one of the times that I first saw the clinching problem was with Devin Haney back in, I think it was 2017, 2018 when he fought Jorge Linares, and that's when I first saw, like, man, this is bullshit. So I'm
you didn't see it with Muhammad Ali?
That's all I got to say. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the shout out.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Anand, for the shout out. And yes, let's keep spreading the gospel of enforcing the rules so that we get more aesthetically pleasing fights and not the wrestling and the dipping below the waist that we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks. Shout out to you, Anand. Call back, all right, man? Take it easy out there.
I think the clinching's going on a lot longer than what he just said.
Yes.
Ali was a clinch master.
Right. His point
remains
the
same. And much further than that. It goes back over 100 years.
Yeah, it's been around for a very long time.
Jack Johnson, they love Jack Johnson, right? He was a pro wrestler, pretty much. He wrestle. He had. There's an actual famous quote where he said that he would wrestle fighters so they got boxers so they got tired. He would tire them out with wrestling.
BDA but I think the problem is the people that try to tell you that that's boxing and that's the sweet science. I think that's where the frustration comes in.
Absolutely.
They should do like you can do only 2 clinches per round or 3 clinches per round. After you do that, a point is deducted. If you do more than that, you get a warning, and then a point is deducted. So because in some cases you can't. The arms clinch. They fucking wrap around each other, and they can't. It's natural. They're gonna fucking clinch at that point. Some cases, not all cases. And so,
I mean, listen.
like Devin Hayes.
The rules are unequivocal about this. Clinching is illegal. And then people try to twist it into, well, there's a difference between clinching and holding. I mean, well, so holding is what? After a couple of seconds, that becomes holding and not clinching? It makes no sense. You're wrapping one arm or two arms around the person, whether it's around his arms, the trunk, the hips, whatever, or top of the head. That's clinching. And that means you can't fight on the inside. You don't want to fight on the inside. You don't have the stamina to do it. You don't have the balls to do it, whatever. It's not clean boxing. So I don't want to hear about this whole clinching thing. Now, the other thing we do got to get to here, and don't forget to hit the likes. Hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Subscribe if you've yet to subscribe. We got to talk about the Lara fight. We have to, all right, because it took place last night. Arizona Lara beats the late replacement Johan Gonzalez by wide scorecards, ended up dropping him twice. It was kind of a sad fight to watch because Johan Gonzalez had no business being there, although he gave it a good old go, as they say in the UK. And Lara just doesn't have the legs to move anymore, which actually bodes well for the fans because this is what was always frustrating with Lara. We knew he could crack, but he preferred to back foot bitch it for most of his fights and then complain whenever decisions didn't go his way. Now that he has to stand and trade or fire, it actually makes for a little bit more interesting fights. So the last night's fight was kind of sad to watch because of the nature of both guys. So what do you guys think about Lara? Is Crawford going to fight him now that this guy still has a middleweight title? What's next for old Erislandy Lara?
It's his style, right? That's the perfect age for him. And if he knocks him out, they'll say, he's the greatest ever. He beat him better than Canelo did. That's probably what he'll do.
No, that's true.
For the fans, for the fans is, oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, bro, I feel like we kind of saw this coming a little bit. They did the old Guatemalan switch up. What do you call it, VDA? What's that? What's the phrase?
The Guatemalan snatch away.
There you go. There you go. That's what they did. The old Guatemalan snatch away, bro.
They don't want to see that white boy knock out, right? And then Crawford's well.
Because it was just very interesting how there's yapping about Johnny Beck, we're coming for you, whoop-de-woo, and then he pisses hot, whatever, and they put in this guy, Johan Gonzalez, Erislandy's fucking cousin and shit, and they're right there sparring. And then you see after the fight, what I thought was interesting was that you don't even see Crawford start calling him out. Well, not from my knowledge. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but that they were probably expecting Lara to knock this dude out, right, and look spectacular. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like how he did against Danny Garcia, right? Beating up a little 140 guy. So that didn't happen. He had a hard fight with this guy. So they didn't even dare to say, yeah, you're next. We're coming after you next, because they know how dumb that would look. Maybe Crawford was not even that dumb, right? Because he would have got roasted just like he did the other day when he was having his little meltdown. So maybe they'll still try to make that fight, but they're going to wait for some time, right? Because they wouldn't have done it yesterday because they would have looked really dumb.
Yeah, I mean, something weird's going on here. By the way, Fu, did you say Johnny Beck? Did you call him a white guy?
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to. Crawford doesn't want to get laid out by a white guy.
He looks like. Hold on, that's what I'm saying. Johnny Beck looks like a white guy to you. I'm showing pictures of him here.
Yeah. He's a big ass white dude. Yeah, that's what he looks like.
All right.
He looks Asian, bro.
Is he African American?
You know what? You're acting like the cops. You're acting like the cops that whenever a minority does a crime, but they put white underneath.
Mongolian.
Mandalorian. All right, listen. Yeah, you're right. Like,
Mongolian.
Yeah, Mongolian. But look, I agree with Sober. Something I can't prove it. I don't got the evidence, but it was very weird, the whole thing with Johnny Beck. But then again, we need more details to come out of all this. So yeah, I don't got much to say.
I don't know what's Crawford to fight Lara. I think he wants that bald spot to get bigger.
And Julio, I mean, but hey, so if Johnny Beck has his second, he gets tested again and it's clean, and then he gets exonerated for any accusations or whatever. So then what? Is Crawford still going to be acting like he wants to fight him? Is Johnny Beck still going to have to fight Lara? What's going to happen if this was he drug tested hot for no reason, just one time? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, the thing is the meldonium thing.
Will it be more suspicious, or do you think it won't be?
The thing about that is the meldonium, you can't find it in food, apparently. Now, that doesn't preclude contamination because you don't know what's going on with these facilities. You don't know if the thing is they could be packaging other stuff in there that they don't, because that's the other thing. Somebody brought that up to Crawford about snack, and he said, "Oh, over the counter shit is now illegal PEDs." But he's not just taking. That's not what they do at snack. They don't just give you over the counter supplements. They give you the hyperbaric chamber, blah blah, and then they give you the other stuff, the stronger stuff. So, I was reading an article about that there was a facility where they were selling supplements, but then they were also selling on the side. You know what I mean? The stronger stuff, if you know what I mean, the illegal stuff. And so, yeah, if they're using the same facilities, there is a possibility for contamination. But again, we need evidence for that. Just speculation isn't going to be enough. So I can't prove or disprove any of this at this point. By the way, I got to go take a whiz. Got to go to the latrines. So you guys take over, right? Be right. If you want to talk about the Jesus Ramos thing, I guess.
You got to be graphic about it, huh?
What I'll say about look, ancient Aztec Anunnaki speaking. Hold on. So look, what I'll say about Ramos and Shane Mosley Jr., it was a decent fight. Shane Mosley Jr. has a good chin like his dad. He doesn't have the power or the speed. He's not bad. Ramos is a pretty good boxer. He was almost landing hard shots at will, bro, like wide looping hard shots.
I hear he's better at math.
I feel like Ramos, I don't know. I feel like there's times where he can maybe step on the gas and maybe he could have taken him out. And he just refuses to do that. Maybe he's too patient or he just doesn't have that bloodlust. You know, he needs to tap into that ancient Aztec Anunnaki, like I was saying. Like you saw Pitbull Cruz doing when he stuck his tongue out. You know what I mean? People were saying he was frustrated and shit. No, that was bloodlust building in his body, bro. He was releasing it. He was dancing for battle as a war dance. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to see from Ramos in his next fight, bro. And then he will get a knockout. You see, after he did that crazy tongue shit, he started coming back, and that's when he turned up at the end of the fight, right?
You guys found out if Janabek got stripped or no?
No, we're still gotta wait on that third test. That's what I was saying, bro. Will it be more suspicious or less if he passes the third test? And they just canceled the fight. They just canceled the fight for no reason, basically.
Yeah, the third test should come out quickly too.
I think Ramos needs to add somebody to his team, not just work with his dad, because it's happened in the past. And I still think he's got some holes in his game that he needs to change, because he's not a bad boxer and he does have power. But sometimes he seems kind of slow. He announces his punches too much. He's too wide open to get caught. He can certainly tighten all that up. And like I said, he's not a bad boxer. But I think the corner's just a little bit too. They're not active enough. I mean, yeah, just needs to add somebody to his team.
I thought he should have bodied Mosley, but go ahead.
No, you know what? That's what I was gonna say. Look, Shane Mosley Jr. is a bit of a gatekeeper. He's a top 25 middleweight type of guy, top 20 if you want to be generous. And he's got, a couple of decent scalps on his record. He's got Daniel Jacobs and Gabriel Rosado. But so you know what type of level he's at. Brandon Adams beat him. So, like I said, we know he's at a top 20 level. So when Ramos comes along, I'm thinking, okay, let's see what Ramos can do. My criticism of Ramos before the fight was he's trying to be too much of a cutie in there in terms of boxing. Like Never Sobers calls Zurdo Ramirez Zurdochenko. Because again, Zurdo Ramirez was another dude. He's long, he's got good body punching. He should be more of a volume puncher, Antonio Margarito type fighter. But no, they try to box and they don't have the speed to do it. They have slow twitch muscles. And although Ramos isn't the slowest guy out there, he's trying to be too much of a boxer and it doesn't work. And now at middleweight, he seems to be in a bit of a catch-22 because he doesn't hit as hard as he did at 154. And even at 154, he wasn't really the biggest puncher out there. And now he moves up in there and he had to labor. That's the word I would use. He had to labor to beat Shane Mosley Jr. And, I thought he won convincingly. And again, the commentators were sort of, again, showing their bias a little bit here. Maybe because they were going for the underdog. I don't know. But Ramos really did look like he's in a bit of a bind because he's not a master boxer. He's not the biggest puncher out there. And he's not a volume puncher. So what is he? And he's lost a bit of that pop that he already didn't really have as much at 154. Now, the flip side to that coin is he's only 24. So there's room for improvement. At that age, guys can improve from 1 year to the next
He looks
exponentially.
35. It's like he's 20, but he looks 35, bro.
He moves like he's
damn.
35. He's so slow. Every time I see him, I feel like every time I see him, he gets worse. He's always slower. He throws combinations worse. He has no power. This guy's like Landolfo Delgado. Is like every
You're
time I
just
see
a
this guy,
hater,
it's
bro.
awful.
You're just
He
a
has
hater.
the
not a
same
hater,
taste in
like-
fights as Crawford.
Excuse me?
Just because
He
you're
has
35
he has
doesn't
the
mean
Shane
you're slow,
Mosley
bro.
Jr. has the same taste in fights as Terrence Crawford.
The same
He
taste
fights
in
washed
fights?
up guys.
Just because
His
you're
best
35
wins are
doesn't
versus
mean you're
washed up
slow.
guys.
Oh, okay, guys.
But no, let me just finish. I was just gonna
The new 27
respond.
right now, bro.
Yeah, let me just respond to BDA. Yeah, I think he needed to show levels. I'm not trying to say they were the two fights, and this may be a little out of line, but like Ramos should have did showed his levels and did like Virgil did Lubin. That's the type that I see Mosley as. Maybe I'm not being accurate, but that when we talk about the overused cliche levels, like he really needed to show us that he's levels above Mosley if we want to give him a fighting chance against the top guys.
That's a great way of putting it. And yeah, he's lucky a little bit that 160 pounds is a bit of a barren wasteland. I mean, you got Carlos Adames, you got Janibek, who right now his reputation is in the mud, but we've seen what happens when people test positive. They just come back and they keep fighting. So I think I'm pretty sure we're going to see him fight again. And so after that, who else is there at 160? Crawford apparently wants a title there, but there's not much going on. So Ramos in a bit of a good position here. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Really helps us out. Let's go to the phone calls here. Let's go to 210. 210, you're on the air. 210, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Southpaw, y'all?
Hey, what's up, Southpaw?
Not much, man. It was fun. I was at the event. Checked out the weigh-ins. Had some great seats, man, even though they were fucking overpriced. But I was disappointed, man. Like boxing always gets in its own way, man. Like the thing about Texas, man, it's beautiful down here because it's such a great market, especially in San Antonio because it's like the centrally located city. So all the big cities in Texas it's like right in the middle of all of them. So, and it has the most Mexican Americans per capita behind LA. There's only the San Antonio Spurs to compete with as far as like major sports, but our commission is the worst commission in all of boxing, bro. And I hate it, man, because like this is why fighters don't want to come here, and this is because of this reason. Like when it was a great crowd, and then when the draw happened, everybody just got up and left with like they were kind of like pissed off. You know what I mean? Everybody was just quiet. There's no energy was shot once they announced the draw. I think Pitbull edged it out, but you could tell from the get-go, the referee, I've never seen this referee, and he was injecting himself from round one, like really over the top, man. It's like, I don't know why he just couldn't let him fight, but it sucked, man. I mean, the undercard took a hit with Janet. I wanted to see Janet Beck. I don't know. He screwed, man, because he's not a big name, and like nobody wants. Yeah, people were ducking him, and he's not marketable. He's not a big name, and then he tests positive. So this is crazy, man. But that fight was boring. Shakur, not Shakur, Foster. The Foster fight wasn't that great neither. But the Shane Mosley fight was awesome, man. I like both guys, man. I really was kind of rooting for Shane Mosley because of his dad. I was a big fan of his dad growing up. But all in all, it was good, man. It was really good. It's just, I hate when we have draws like this. They should have you could tell the politics were on Roach's side. So, and that's what the PBC, the pro Mayweather, the green print. You remember what the green print is, BDA?
No.
Fight face first Mexicans. That's what, Gervonta Davis, they even say it out. They even say it straight up. And that's how Mayweather is like, just fight the Hispanic dudes that are just one dimensional but I think that's all it was. But I don't know, man. I like Roach too, but it just sucked that it ended in a draw, man. It was such a good atmosphere. I think the more telling shots were by Cruz by far. But I don't know, man. I think in the rematch, Roach has a better chance because he's going to acclimate more and he can adjust more.
Well, hopefully we get to see it. By the way, there were a bunch of people from the Discord who were at the fight, including John Gonzalez. There was a fight during the Lara fight, I think, or I forget during which fight, and he says that the instigator got carried out of the arena like the cowboy in the movie Casino. Remember the cowboy where they pull him out of the casino face first onto the doors. Did you happen to see that? Did you happen to catch the fight in the stands?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was crazy, man. Because like I was 7 rows up center, so like whenever they have fights there, I always get section 8, row 13. Man, it's fucking perfect. But yeah, that was crazy. It was during the Oshaki Foster fight. It just went off, and I was wondering what happened because like the whole crowd was just like oohing and eyeing, standing and seeing what's going on. You could tell someone was being dragged out to the tunnel. So I don't know what happened, man. Like that was usually there's more fights in Texas, but yeah, that was crazy. I guess because it was the only one that got the most attention. Because usually there's a few fights in Texas. You know, Mexicans we like to drink, bro. So it's like whenever they have fights down here, we drink too much, bro. That's what it is. Like when they had the Mikey Garcia fight in the building next door where that fight was, no bullshit. They ran out of beer. Like
Jeez,
crazy.
Luis. I mean, hey, listen. So when you saw the fight, you didn't have the inkling to get in there and throw a couple of shots.
No, man, it was like by the tunnel on the floor. I was like I said, I was on the 7th row up, so I was like, it was man. I last time I went, people get hot and heavy, man. I've almost gotten into it with fights in the arenas before because there's a lot of machismo in the building. People are drinking, I guess, because the boxing really kind of makes everybody a little on edge. So I've almost gotten into it, man. But I'm like, man, I paid too much for these tickets, and that's one thing I want to point out, man. This wasn't supposed to be a pay-per-view. And these tickets were severely overpriced, man. I'm surprised that they filled up the whole bottom bowl and they opened up some of the top because they were selling well. But, man, something's got to give, man. These prices are crazy.
I agree. It's getting out of hand right now,
man.
You
can't just buy cheap tickets and move down?
No, it's especially...
No. The cheapest ticket was like $100 at the very top. And, man, they're pretty strict. Like, I don't know. There was really no open seats, so... I always look for that. I always look at Ticketmaster the last second to see which ones weren't sold. So I was like, maybe I could get even closer if I see that those tickets weren't sold, and I'll keep checking it until they close the sales. But there was nothing that was open on the whole entire bottom floor. So that was impressive, man. But it just sucked. It was a stinker that the politics always come through, especially here in Texas. We got the worst commission, y'all. Like it's so embarrassing and disheartening, man. Like it was such a good fight, and then for it to end like that, it just kind of sucked the wind. It sucked the wind out of the building, man. It really sucked.
All right, well, listen, Southpaw, we got to move on here, but thank you for your call, and glad to hear you enjoyed yourself over there. Well, mostly enjoyed yourself over there last night. Take it easy. Thank you for your call, man.
Yeah, well, just real quick, just real quick. I got to talk to Benavidez Senior, man, and we were kind of laughing and joking about. Canelo's trainer has another excuse number 13 of why he's not going to fight David Benavidez or why he never wanted to is now he's like, because his dad talks trash. I'm like, bro, it's fucking boxing, bro. Like if somebody's talking trash, that's what you're supposed to do. It's the weirdest excuse. I don't know. It was just funny mingling with everybody. Yeah, but all right, I'll take it easy.
All right, take it easy, man. Thank you for your call. All right. Oh, shit.
You gotta tell him he has to promote your show. He has to wear a BDA shirt next time.
Yeah, that's why we're gonna tell people in the Discord next time if you're gonna show up to the fights, wear the BDA shirt. And no, it's not a gay shirt. It's not a cutoff shirt where you show off your belly. It's a men's shirt, right? I don't know what people.
It says BDA Pride on it.
No, it doesn't have the word pride. No, none of that.
It does.
Don't forget
You'll
to
get
like
free merchandise if you jump into the ring.
Yeah, you get free merchandise and a big shout out if you jump into the ring and start screaming obscenities. All right.
Allahu Akbar.
By the way, we're kidding. We don't advocate breaking the law. We're all about staying within the law. So hopefully people understand that we're joking around here. All right. Don't forget the phone calls. The phone lines are open, so make sure to call in. We're still going to be here for about 25 minutes. What else did we miss? Oh, yeah. Okay. Opetaia. Jai Opetaia. Fighting. Okay, by the way, I got to apologize. By the way. I got to apologize.
Wait. I want to say something before we move on from the Roach thing. I told you guys the draw numbers were so crazy with the betting odds. It was 16-1.
You told us.
Yeah,
I remember you saying shit.
Severino was the only one who listened.
For the draw?
Yeah, for the draw was 16-1.
Yeah, usually it's 20-1.
It was gonna be a draw, regardless of what it was.
I mean, those numbers for a draw are usually like 20-1.
Yeah, but they didn't want to what's it called have Cruz winning because they didn't want him calling out Tank after this. or the other way around. They don't want Roach winning because they don't want.
They wanna keep their options.
Yeah, they
open.
want to keep their options available.
Yeah,
So if
but you know what? I
some
think they
people
wanted
made
to
some money.
Roach
I made
to
some money on this.
Oh, good.
I need
what
receipts, Vessel.
Yeah,
What
we
do
want
you
the
want?
receipts, man. Otherwise, we don't buy it.
Yeah, I made money on it. Everybody says that.
No, I did. I literally told them.
I know that's why I need a
100.
receipt. I need a receipt.
I'm not gonna, dude. Why are you pocket checking me? That's hella weird.
By the way, people in the chat are saying BDA cropped up. Somebody else said, why does the shirt have a proud ally of the BDA? Proud intersectionality. BDA intersectionality. Now, listen. These are all jokes. I'm on the true path to the Crimson Cross. I think Bucho's about to be on it as well. He's about to graduate to that degree. So no, we don't go for that type of stuff. I was gonna say this. I got to apologize. But then again, I can only go by what information I found on the internet. Jay Opetaia's fight, when I checked it on Friday, I was on the show. I wasn't hosting that day, so I couldn't show you the picture, but I was on the net, and I went on the website, and it said Opetaia versus Sincaras, or Sincara, whatever his name was. It was going to be 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right? So that's what I said on the show. And then it said that it was going to be on some venue, different venue. First of all, it turns out it wasn't at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. It was at about 6:30 Eastern time. I woke up at 7, checked the Discord. People are saying the fight's already over. I go, fuck. Then I checked Boxing Scene for the results, or more in-depth results. It says it was at the Gold Coast Convention Center. So I'm thinking, wait a minute.
Gold Coast Convention Center.
It was there. So I don't know. I got to check out which website I went to give it a bad review because it got everything wrong. I missed the fight. Jay Opetaia fighting...
Ringside, Gold Coast Convention Center.
Yes. He was at the convention center and he ended up stopping his opponent in the 8th round. But check this out. He ended up getting stunned in the fight. Not only did he get stunned, he was pretty miffed about his performance that he actually refused to talk right after the fight. It was only later that he ended up talking. He said he was horrible. He felt horrible about the way the fight went. He said he could have done better. He had bruising on his face, and then on top of that, apparently he's got a hairline fracture on one of his eye sockets. This is against a 40-year-old guy who, yes, I told you on Friday that he was tricky, but it's a 40-year-old guy who never fought anybody. Guys, what do you think about Jay Opetaia? Was he overrated all along?
He
or was
he
this
must
just
have had a broken hand, right?
No, this guy. I mean, Opetaia is
Hey, that's
every time I think about it. This guy
I
is
just
the
got it.
reason why he
I just got
hasn't
the
moved
joke,
up.
man. Sorry. I'm sorry. Vessel,
He's
go
Why
ahead.
he didn't have a broken hand?
See the Roach thing? That's funny.
Yeah. But go ahead,
I'd say
Vessel.
there's a reason why they haven't moved him up to heavyweight. This guy doesn't last. He's not one of the, he's not a durable guy. I mean, against Brady's, he got his jaw broken, and then the second time he was already fractured in his eye, something like that. And now he's got another fracture. I mean, honestly, I think Zerto might even beat this guy, and I know for sure Benavidez beats this guy.
Well,
He's
Vessel, real quick.
overrated. He's like a hipster's choice.
That what I was going to say. People in the Discord, when I woke up and started reading the comments, people were saying that. People were saying, this guy's overrated. Zurdo actually does have a chance. Because not that long ago, even myself, I started falling into that. Like, hey, maybe I think Opetaia hits too hard and is too quick for Zurdo. But is there a possibility, guys, that he just had enough night? Because he was, again, fighting a third mismatch opponent in a row. Is it possible he just got complacent? Which he claims.
He's a delicate guy, man. He was delicate.
Yeah.
He got hit with some jabs, and his face was all busted up from that. That's crazy. I was picking him to beat Benavidez, but after watching that fight, I think Benavidez will eat that guy up.
Whoa.
He goes up in weight. He's frail. He's a really frail guy.
No, Opetaia is really good, but I mean, we just don't know. We haven't seen him fight a top guy that we think is top. Because I think Vessel said that. What was that guy's name he fought when he got his jaw broke?
Brady's.
He was already
yeah.
damaged, right? He's been kind of through wars himself. But yeah, Opetaia gets hit clean, man. I don't know if that's just because he likes to brawl, but he does take shots clean.
Yeah, listen, normally...
he wasn't fighting a wild fight the other day. He was fighting very composed, throwing a lot of straight punches. So,
are you eating
but
a
he was still
sandwich or
eating
something?
shots.
Are you eating a sandwich or something? What are you eating over there?
Sorry, yeah, I'm eating some organic nuggets.
I always like to ask Fu what he's eating because it's either psychedelic bananas from the gas station where he buys it from, gas station coffee, which keeps him up all night apparently, or what did you say? Organic nuggets? Nuggets of what?
Yeah, organic chicken nuggets.
Oh, okay, chicken. I thought you were gonna say shit
doesn't
nuggets or something.
exist. That's not real.
Yeah, I don't eat shit nuggets usually.
All right, sorry, but
you eat like a 12-year-old. You got ketchup too, and a juice
I
box.
do. It's spicy ketchup, actually.
And a juice box.
Oh, come on, Frank, man, what are you doing?
I'm gonna look at my refrigerator and see if I got one.
All right, listen. Sounds kind of good, actually. Some nuggets with some hot sauce.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to eat like a little kid. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine.
Yeah. I was gonna say
organic.
I'm trying to find the whole fight because I haven't managed to catch it in good definition. So I really want to watch because look, I don't besmirch a fighter for getting marked up. Sometimes, like with Virgil Ortiz, people were pointing out, "Oh, against Majimov, he was all marked up."
You want to link to the whole fight?
Well, let's not talk about it on the air. But sorry, but yeah, we'll talk about it behind the scenes.
See the fight, BD. I didn't see the fight, but yeah, he is a fragile guy, man, and that's why I think even Beterbiev or Bivol, and yes, Benavidez will beat him. All three of those guys will beat will beat Chayo Opetaia. Yes, they will. I always had that feeling about him being, and that's why Breedis is a power puncher. Don't get me wrong; he's a very powerful power puncher. But yeah.
Gypsy, you okay?
Anyways, I got work. I'll see you later. Bye.
All right, take it easy, man.
That dude, his spine was a total stiff too, and he couldn't put him away. Kind of crazy.
The last guy he fought. This last guy?
That dude was that dude was Frankenstein in there. He barely could move his head.
He was awkward.
Just could not put the guy away.
He was awkward though. He was like if you watched a video of him beforehand, you could tell. Again, he never fought anybody, but you could tell he was a tricky guy. That being said, look, there's two ways of looking at this. First of all, like I was going to say, I don't usually pay too much attention to whether a guy gets marked up or not, because some people have fairer skin and they get marked up. They just get touched with a jab, and all of a sudden they look like the elephant guy, the elephant man. the elephant guy was
all busted up.
But that's what I was going to say. It's one thing to be busted up. It's another thing to have a hairline fracture. That means he was getting hit flush with something. Maybe it could have been a headbutt. I don't know. But it's true. Look, listen, Opetaia for us.
He has those weird cheekbones. He has those really weird, like meth head cheekbones.
Well, let's be politically correct here. Polynesian cheekbones. Maori. Oh, no, wait a minute. What is he? He's Australian, right? He's not. Yeah, whatever. I was going to say this. People bring up a good point. On the one hand, he did end up icing the guy. So, okay, he took a couple of shots and he got busted up in a hairline fracture. But the other flip side to that coin is that he ended up getting a knockout. But then if you flip the coin again, despite him getting the knockout, his best opponent so far is an old Breedis. And he struggled with that dude twice.
Flip that coin again.
Go ahead.
Flip it one more time.
No. That's I'm flipped enough. I'm flipped out.
You only flipped it twice, I think.
I flipped it 3 times actually. 3 times.
How many times did you flip the coin? It only has 2 sides, right?
No, 3 times. Well, because I go back to the other side because there's multiple sides to the issue. What I'm trying to get at here is that I'm still not quite sold. I'm still not quite sold on Opetaia because yes, he's good. He's got power. He likes to go for it. He knocks people out cold. It's not just stopping them with a body shot or accumulation. He knocks them out cold. Then again, who the fuck are these guys? And again, I go back to the same thing. In the British rematch, that was a British who had been out of commission for 2 years or something like that. He was 40 years old, and he still gave Opetaia a very tough fight. So, like Vessel was saying, I think it was Vessel or I forget who he was. This might prove the reason why they're keeping him out of the heavyweight division.
Yeah,
because
there's a reason why they keep him away from heavyweight.
He keeps saying
they had enough time to move up there.
He keeps saying, I want undisputed. And I keep thinking, look, you're already the champion. Doesn't matter whether you get one more belt or not. You're the undisputed champion. Fuck the sanctioning bodies. But he keeps insisting on fighting Zurdo, and it's not even that big a fight. So my thing is, I think I'm agreeing with Vessel right now. That maybe his handlers don't really want to put him on heavyweight just quite yet because they're not quite sold on whether he can take a punch up there.
Yeah.
He definitely can. He'll get laid out.
People are now saying he's a hype job.
That's bottom line, is he a hype job?
Yeah,
Frank,
I don't think he's as good as they claimed he was, but I mean, I don't think he's a bomb either, right?
I think he's good, and I think he's good for the division, but I don't think he's good enough to go up to heavyweight and dominate there like people think that he was gonna do. Like you know how many people I've heard? Oh, this guy beats Usyk, man. This guy beats Usyk. Trust me.
that's insane.
No, there's a bunch of fucking idiots on the. I mean, I told you guys this last time. The BDA Discord. I don't know if I respect like half those people there. I think half those people are not even people. They're like hamsters or something.
Well, yeah, we certainly have a.
Or Indian or something. Something stupid.
Let me just. Do you think? Because I think there was a guy, a cruiser. Wasn't his name Adamic or something like that? He went up and beat. What's his name? Areola.
Yeah.
Could Opetaia do something similar? Is that what they're trying to say?
Well, that's
could
a very
he beat
good
a guy
question.
like Areola?
Well, that's a very good question. Let's look at the heavyweight landscape here because it does beg the question. And by the way, we did a video a couple of months ago. It was in the summer, I believe, called Jai Opetaia and the heavyweight division. And we were going through the list of top heavyweights and asking whether Opetaia could have a chance against him. So let's do that here right now real quick. Efe Ajagba, number 10. Aitama, number 9. Bakoli, number 8. Some people call him Fat Koli. Zhile Zhang still at number 7. Quite top 10 guy still.
Koli? Is that what they call him?
Some people call him Fat Koli.
Fag Koli?
No, not Fat. Jeez, Luis, what's up with you and the pride thing today? Filip Hrgovic, number 6. Dubois, number 5. Parker, number 4. Caballel, number 3. Wardley, surprisingly, number 2. Well, I guess because of the Parker thing. What? Tyson Fury, number 1, of course. And of course, Usyk, the champion. So, guys, who would you pick Opetaia against in this division? Would you give him a chance to beat Ajagba, Bakoli, Aitama? Go ahead.
I think Fat Baby Anderson beats this guy.
Oh,
really?
He might be Aitama.
Yeah,
maybe. That's a maybe. He might get knocked out by that guy.
But I think Baby Anderson beats this guy.
I may be way off, but I'm looking. I would look at someone like Flip Hrgovic because that guy, man, he just like fails sometimes. I mean, he showed flashes, but he just seems lazy and a failure. And I think that Efe Ajagba, he's especially lackluster too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, man, because look, Usyk, he was supposed to fight a top-level heavyweight in his first fight up there as a pro. But then again, a bunch of fights fell through, so he had to settle for Chaz Witherspoon. Then I think he got injured, and that's why he was out for over a year. Then the pandemic happened, so he only ended up getting a fight all the way into October 2020, and that was against Chisora, who gives most guys problems. But then again, that was Usyk, who right afterwards jumped in against Joshua and ended up dominating the heavyweight division. But that's Usyk. That's a different caliber of fighter from Opetaia. So would Opetaia be well served fighting some top 25 guys? Forget about the top 10. Just put him in there against some fat guy who can take a shot. Like, how about the dude that gave a tough fight to Jalalov? You know, the Ukrainian butterbean. What was the guy's name? Remember?
Who?
There was a fat, bald Ukrainian guy who fought Jalalov this year, I believe.
Oh, what's his name? I don't remember his name.
Anyway, that dude. Do you think Opetaia could beat that dude?
Oh, Vitaly Kudakov.
Oh my God, I don't know who these guys are. No, what about that guy that just fought Fisher or something like that?
Oh, yesterday, yeah, he looked like shit, right? People said
it was like a couple weeks ago. He was like a lower level UK guy.
Oh,
Fisher.
Allen? Something.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean he could start there, but I don't know if he beats any of the top guys. Maybe he can develop.
Or like, what was that guy, Deontay White? Remember that Polish dude they used to hype up? A guy like that. Remember Deontay? Was it that Polish dude? Yeah, wait, he was like top something.
You're talking about the guy? He beat Areola.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that dude ended up getting beat up by Hellenius, and I think he looked shot in.
Yeah, that's exactly. I forget his name. But I'm saying somebody of that caliber for Opetaia.
That's a good one. Because again, you got to give him a relatively soft touch coming up just to see how he handles the weight. Nowaski, yeah. No, Nowacki. What was the guy? No, he wasn't
yeah, that's who I'm talking about.
It was Nowaski? Okay, it was him.
Yeah.
By the way, we got a phone call here. Let's go to a phone call real quick before they hang up. Then we'll get back to this heavyweight discussion. 410.
Like 10 minutes.
410, you're on the air. 410, what's on your mind?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, Jerry. Hey, by the way, Jerry, do me a favor, man. do me a favor. Tell me you got a
Yes,
whole
sir.
bunch of things to talk about because I don't want to rush you like the last time, all right? So you tell me the subjects you got on hand.
Well, I can keep it brief. Briefly regarding the heavyweights and any fighters. I mean, until these get matched appropriately, we don't really know about them. That's Opetaia, Tamu. What's that heavyweight Aram has? Torres, white guy.
Richard Torres Jr.
I mean, these guys they haven't fought. Yeah, they haven't fought anybody. So they could be great or they could get knocked out the first time they step up, right? So fans just get way overboard. They talking about this Atamo guy fighting Usyk. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. They don't want to put that guy. He's young. He's got a lot of time to learn and build his career. And it would likely be disastrous. Maybe he could pull it off, but that's what we'd have to find out. Till they step up, we just don't know. They can look great against mid-level guys. That's how they match them. That's done intentionally, right? It's done to make them look good, but that's all it is. Now, we'll talk about Bud Crawford. I just about had it with Bud Crawford, man. As far as I'm concerned, he can just go ahead and take all of his belts and just go off into the sunset. Unless he's going to fight Boots Ennis or Virgil Ortiz, because I'm not interested at all in him fighting a 5,000-year-old prehistoric man and Lara. Janabek has effectively taken himself out of the running. Who do you got? Adamas, unknown dude. Come on, man. If you're going to fight, unless you're just going to take a retirement fight, okay, I get that, and maybe Omaha. But otherwise, just go on, man, and just go, because, there's been a lot of talk about him not paying those sanctioning fees. And I'll be honest with you, man, if he would have made those concerns at the table when he was made aware of the fees, and he stood on principle and said, nah, I'm not going along with this. I don't know where you're doing with the money, and why can't you take what I want to give you? If he would have did it then, I would probably applaud him for that. That's not what he did. He went along to get along so he could get the fight, benefit from the promotion, benefit from the distinction of being another undisputed champion. Then he got the physical belt, and when Sullivan told him, where's my dollar? He told him, up yours. Terrence Crawford has had 10 belts in his career. I never heard him say anything about sanctioning fees while he was building his career and marketing himself with those belts. But now that he's pushing 40, from the looks of it to me, the options are limited. Now he's screwing the guy. It's a basic dine and dash. And I'm not one to take up for the sanction bodies because they're corrupt, but the reality is the fighters know that. They know these things going in. They know that the sanctioning fees are there. They know the deal. So you see what he did there, and why it's different than, say, other fighters getting stripped. For various reasons. He got what he wanted, and then he doesn't want to pay it. In the streets that I grew up on in Baltimore, people get unalived every day for taking someone's product and not paying. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen to him. We know that, but that corporate world, that where he screwed them for over $250,000, they're every bit as cutthroat as any street, ghetto, trailer park. They're just as cutthroat. So you never know. Boxing's corrupt. If he fights again and all of a sudden there's a positive drug test, something like that, I'm speculating there. I get it, but I just know you can't go around screwing people like that. He knew the deal. It would be different. It would be extortion, which some people claim it is, if they blindsided him and after the fight they told him, look, you owe us $330,000. And he was not aware and didn't know. That's extortion. They know. The fighters know. Some have complained. Andre Ward has complained, some. But many don't say anything. I never heard Manny Pacquiao. I never heard Bud Crawford complain ever. If he was an advocate for against these sanctioning fees, why, while he was building his career, you never heard him say anything? You feel me? It's just now.
That's a good point. That's a great point. And, we've been telling people for years here that, unfortunately, all these fighters, all these managers and promoters, they benefit from the sanctioning bodies because you got 4 belts now that are recognized. Remember, you can remember a time, Jerry, when the WBO was considered a joke. Then all of a sudden, about 10 years ago, they started, the establishment started recognizing it as a major belt. And then people who weren't paying attention just went with it. It's like, oh yeah, right, undisputed in the 4-belt era. And look, I don't side with the WBC on this issue. I don't side with the sanctioning bodies. But yeah, Crawford was the one that was bigging up the sanctioning bodies by saying, oh, I'm the first 4-time undisputed guy. So now he made his bed and he's got a lie in it and he doesn't like it. So, yeah.
Of course. And like I say, if you notice, when he was building his career, all he did was brag and talk about the belts. He never once said that I heard, and we would have heard it, that he had these issues. But guess what? If you got them issues, you stand on principle and you present them there where you got something to lose. That's a foundation of principle, right? I don't go along with this. Well, bud, this fight won't be for undisputed if you don't pay these fees. I don't care. I'm fundamentally against it, and so no, I don't care. And there, so that's you putting your money where your mouth is. What he did is he went along to get everything he wanted, and then he put his mouth where his money was supposed to go. You see? Now, people get this confused and conflated and think that I'm taking up for the sanctioning bodies. I won't take up for any one of them because they're corrupt. All of boxing is corrupt. Mm-hmm. But they're part of it, and they've been part of it, and the fighters and their management know this. And they work it to their advantage, just like Crawford did, by using those belts to promote themselves, you see? Absolutely. Some fighters want them belts, and they want them every bit as much for what they mean in business as they do because they want them to be called champion. Their management knows those belts equal money. And Crawford knows it too, but he's just at a place now where he can say screw them, apparently, and that's what he's doing.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And again, that doesn't mean I side with the sanctioning bodies, but people got to start taking responsibility for propping up these sanctioning bodies in the first place. If they would have followed suit in 2002, we wouldn't be having this problem. Jerry, anything else?
One last thing. Yeah, one last thing. What it may result in, especially with Turkey trying to control boxing and just have one belt, man, careful what you wish for there. Turkey brings some good. We've seen fights that we wouldn't have seen, just like this Crawford Canelo fight. Because let's be honest, when we talk about their corruption manipulating rankings, Bud Crawford's benefited from that. He was able to jump up 2 divisions without one fight, an eliminator, nothing, and go straight to the undisputed title over all 4 sanctioned bodies' top 10 fighters that are campaigning. 40 fighters were told, pushed to the side, hey, you might have was supposed to get a shot and you fought maybe an eliminator, but you're not getting it. We're going to allow this guy to just come. You see, so he's benefited from the corruption also. But, it is what it is, and what it may result in if I was Sullivan or any one of the heads of the sanctioning bodies, I'd say, all right, guys, new rule. You will fight for our title. Our money that we agree on for the fee has to go into a escrow account. The same way the fighters and their management insist that their purse goes into escrow. That's what has to happen. You have to put this money in escrow before we sanction the bout. This way we don't have to come looking for you after you get what you want. So Thanks for the time.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, great call. Jerry, thank you for your call, and the call back next time, man. Take it easy. Yeah, listen, guys, I mean, again, by the way, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Real helps out. We've rallied enough against the sanctioning bodies here for years. Again, I gotta go back to the record. 2002, when I was reading Ring magazine, and that's when they had enough with the WBA specifically, and they brought back the Ring magazine to life. Some people, like Max Kellerman, to his credit on ESPN back in the day, he tried to really prop up the Ring magazine belt. HBO, once in a while, they would try it, but they were in a bit of a bind too because they profit too from the belts, because that way they could promote fights as championship level fight, right? HBO championship boxing, there's a championship on the line. Like Steve Kim always says, belts matter for the fighters because they make money off of it. They can call themselves champions. But come on, you're going to tell me in the welterweight division right now, you're telling me Barrios, you really think he's a champion because he's got a belt? You telling me Louis Crocker is a champion? You telling me Romero is a champion? This dude is a 3-division world champion. But now, look, we've rallied enough against the sanctioning bodies. I think we also have to start calling out the fighters. Because and the fans, because they're the ones that legitimize this whole process in the first place. Undisputed in the forward. I remember every time I would make a video about Teofimo Lopez and I would mention that he's the undisputed junior welterweight championship. 5 comments. He's not undisputed, bro. He's not undisputed. Now that their guy, Terence Crawford, their darling, is rallying against the WBC. Now all of a sudden, oh my God, the sanctioning bodies are evil. Where were you 3 months ago when you were fighting with us about Teofimo Lopez not being undisputed? Because what? He had to fight Romero for a paper belt? Or Puello or whoever else for a belt? I mean, come on, guys. Let's get on the... Now, I'm not one of those people that's going to attack people for the past, but let's get on the same page here. Are we or are we not against the sanctioning bodies? Fellas, what do you think on the panel?
Yeah, I said that they're whores, right? So don't sleep with them. If you sleep with the whore, you can't be mad when they steal your TV.
Yeah, wait, are you talking about from personal experience? Or
wait, that sounds very personal. What the fuck?
Never.
What is it? When they steal your flash
I just pick them up in the car. I don't take them home. No hotel.
When your dick starts leaking, yellow liquid, and you got to go to the clinic, don't blame the
TV and give you VD.
Exactly. No, but it's true. Like I hate to be cliched, but the scorpion and the frog, the old parable. The scorpion tells the frog, "Hey, can you give me a ride on your back across the pond?" And the frog says, "You're gonna sting me." "No, I'm not." Lets the scorpion in. The scorpion stings him. He goes, "Why'd you sting me?" "Because I'm a scorpion. That's what I do." That's what the sanctioning bodies do. And like Jerry said, he was kind of getting straight there.
That's what they call herpes now.
Yeah, it does sting, right? Jerry said something interesting too. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
He said that the sanctioning bodies, they're kind of gangsterish too in their way. You don't really want to go around pissing them off. So in a way, yes, I understand why fighters don't want to piss them off. But in a perfect world, if enough people go against them, what the fuck are they going to do? They're not going to kill you.
But BDA, let me just say this, Vessel, real quick, if you don't mind, and I'll let you go. People are making all these analogies, but the only analogy that comes to my mind is because they're saying it's just a trophy. You shouldn't have to pay for it. But I'm like, if anybody's entered a contest, you know, the host, a lot of times there's a fee to join a contest. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, well, right. Yeah, like I said, the fighters benefit from that because they can prance around calling themselves champions. But now all of a sudden,
it's just like you pay a fee for the contest, you win it, and then the promoter of the event says, "Hey, man, you owe that fee," and I'm just like, "Fuck you! I already won the prize. I don't owe you shit."
But what was the exact issue with the whole thing? Did they tell him up front, "This is what you got to pay," or because that's what Jerry seemed to indicate?
Wait. Mauricio Suleiman said something that actually I agree with him, even though I don't agree with him because he's probably Jewish. I don't like Jewish people. Anyway,
wait a minute. All right, whatever.
I mean,
disclaimer.
Suleiman,
disclaimer.
Suleiman,
yeah, we're gonna put a disclaimer.
That's not a Mexican last name. It's not Fernandez.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. Anyway,
a Jewish guy would say that.
He said you never were bothered by paying the fees before when you were undisputed. So why are you bothered now? Even though we reduced the price and gave you a discount on it. That's a really good point because it's true. He's like, you used the fact that you were undisputed before as a marketing gimmick to get this fight, but now you don't want to pay up the fees. That's what got you here. That's actually a really good point by Suleiman.
Yeah, that's true. I hate to say it, but it's true. Both guys are at fault, but ultimately for the greater good, I side always against the sanctioning bodies. But it's true. I mean, it just goes to show you how dirty boxing is. By the way, let me go to the phone lines here because somebody's been waiting, and then we'll get back to this, provided you guys still want to talk about it. 301, you're on the air. 301, what's on your mind?
What's up, BDA and panel? The last caller had this idea that I was actually thinking about something similar in terms of holding the purse in escrow, but instead of it being used for sanctioning fees. Like, do you remember that fight between Andre Ward and it was like right after Chad Dawson? I think this guy was Edwin Rodriguez or something like that.
Yes.
And Jack Reese was the referee, and this was like a super Ward fight. This was like as dirty of a fight as you can imagine. And I think the fourth round, Reese separates them and says, "Hey, listen, you both better knock this shit off." Because they're both holding and hitting low and whatever. And if you don't, I'm going to disqualify both of you and recommend that the commission withhold your purse.
He told the judges that.
if someone like Turkey, what?
He told the judges that too.
He told the judges?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. And I think that this would be the right move. Like if someone like Turkey were to consolidate most of the sport, he could create this kind of structure where the purses are not paid when they step into the ring; they're paid after the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And if during the fight, the referee would have a leeway to sort of, remove your purse, and then like maybe a commission could overturn it. But you know how commissions are reluctant to do anything.
Exactly.
That would put the onus on them to have to actually adjudicate the sport. I think that would be actually a very simple move that would fix a lot of this stuff, and that kind of insulate referees from the politics, to some degree. I don't know.
The wheels of boxing turn very slowly because they're monolithic institutions as a whole, and just a change of anything takes decades to enact. That's why when people go, somebody actually said on the Discord, "Oh, complaining doesn't work." Hey, asshole! Complaining is what gets the voice out there. If everybody stays complacent, then people get away with whatever they want. So, like you said, yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
It might not seem like much, but if enough people start complaining, eventually, I've said it before. There's the concept of kairos in Greek rhetoric. People always talk about logos, pathos, and the other one. But there's kairos means right action, right time, at the right time, the right moment. So now that the moment is right for the sanctioning bodies, and it might just get the ball rolling to change other things. So you're right, though. In the old days, if guys didn't try, meaning if they ran around the ring without throwing punches or just minimally throwing shots, or if they were clinching a lot, blah, 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 they would actually withhold the purse because it's in the rules. Not trying is against the rules. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, because it's a limited rule set, right? And there are other sports you can do, other fight sports. You can wrestle if you want. You can fight in MMA.
Exactly.
It doesn't work if one guy is just completely negative. But, on the Crawford thing, you're kind of right. He's a guy who really benefits from the sanctioning bodies, if you think about it, because he never had a good profile. In fact, if anything, he always undersold. I remember Aaron saying that he was like the highest paid welterweight ever since he moved up. Like he got more than Spence, he got more than anyone, but he was selling dismally. Like he was, I think a pay-per-view with Amir Khan, like he undersold like Golovkin, Lemieux or something,
Mm-hmm.
Like he did very poorly, but the gate was even worse. So this is a guy who his career has been mostly kind of manufactured by the powers that be. People just in boxing seem to like him. Despite
who did you say?
His constant whining of being sidelined or whatever.
Who are you talking about?
Crawford.
I mean, it's unpopular to say it, but it's true. It's unpopular to say it, but it's true. Yeah, the guy's been complaining nonstop. He's earned a lot of the stuff he has. Don't get me wrong, especially the Canelo fight. But it's true. People are painting him out to be as a victim, even though he was getting paid handsomely over at Top Rank for fighting relative nobodies. He still has the goal to call Top Rank racist. Then now I mean, I don't want to go to the whole thing because then people go, "Oh, you're just hating," blah blah blah. But prove me wrong that this guy isn't a whiner, and that he's not always playing victim when he in fact instigated a lot of the situations that he's in. It's true. People are enamored with him. Teddy Atlas, I remember after the Canelo fight, he goes, "Terence Crawford." He stays silent and starts laughing. He goes, "I love Terence Crawford." It's like, why? He's a good boxer. He's a great boxer.
Yeah.
But outside to love a guy just because of his skills and not because of his character, there's something wrong. But anyway, that's my little rant there.
It's a weird like Burt Sugar fetish to kind of attach yourself to like a fighter,
yes,
and to embellish his legacy. Like he would like talk about old fighters like they were like gods or something. And I mean, they're just men who like fight each other in their underwear, basically.
Exactly.
It's not going to do something of.
It's a raw sport.
Import,
Exactly. No, look. Boxing is my favorite sport.
And
look, boxing is my favorite sport, and I highly respect anybody who does something great in that sport. Because again, with all the politics and the actual danger of fighting, yeah, it's very dangerous. But it doesn't go. I don't root for guys because they're good. I root for them if they have a good character. If a guy's an asshole, sorry, I don't root.
Today is but today like for example, today is like Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, right? Like 2,400 people lost their lives in like a short span of hours. Like there are more dangerous occupations, like even like being a construction worker, and there are more lethal sports too. And we don't like fawn over like F1 drivers like they're like the paragon of human achievement or something, right? But that's a more lethal sport than boxing. So, I mean, it's not like these people. I'm not diminishing what they're doing. It's just it's gotten way out of hand to where like you can't criticize a fighter. You've never done it, but so what? Like I had like a couple of amateur fights. Can I criticize them? It's just really stupid,
listen,
right? Like
that's the other problem.
Like,
the other problem is
I'm going to say like.
The other problem is a lot of people are ill-equipped to hear people like us criticize somebody. They're ill-equipped to argue against those points. So they'll go to the usual stuff. You're hating, you're coping, you're a racist. That's the big one, right? Even though they can never offer proof about what exactly you're saying is racist. So that's why the conversation usually doesn't go anywhere, because there's not enough people having a good conversation about a good quality conversation where they're actually presenting good cogent arguments. Instead, they just go to, like I said, ad hominem attacks. And so, that's why usually sometimes we just stick to ourselves here, talk to the people, whoever's listening, and hopefully we can get something out of it, get to the truth at some point.
I just want to make one last point on that, like the way people conduct themselves. I recently just stumbled upon like an interview with Tyson and Douglas that was after their fight. They're supposed to have a rematch, and they had like a sit-down network interview. Both kind of wore a suit, and despite both of these guys coming from like very very troubled upbringings and very like poverty-ridden, crime-ridden circumstances, they actually conducted themselves like better than most like professional television anchors do now in sports, at least. And like you contrast that with like Haney and Stevenson, who I think both went to like prep schools and are like as entitled and kind of thuggish acting as kind of like whiny little brats. It's just kind of striking like that these guys can't just come across in an affable way. Like I don't know why they think that this will sell better. They're like rotten personalities. It doesn't make me want to like hate watch them. To watch them lose, like I legitimately just don't want to watch them at all, because I know what's going to happen. Like they're just going to come in 10 to 15 pounds heavier than their opponent, and they're going to hold them. And why would I not even pay? Like why would I even spend my time watching that?
That's a great point, because
I don't know. It's just going to drive everyone away from the sport.
Yeah, that's a great point, because again, I've mentioned it before with Shakur Stevenson. He keeps talking for 3 fights in a row. I'm going to whoop ass. I'm going to whoop ass. Belt to ass. He has a belt with the Mexican flag on it. And then he wonders why people dislike him. I mean, he's disrespecting an entire country. But anyway, he talks about whooping ass. And then the fight just looks from one round to the next almost the same. And he goes to a decision. And then he thinks that by being the bad guy, which he is actually, he seems to be a pretty displeasing character. He thinks he's going to sell more. Because they're still stuck in 2007 with the Mayweather thing. Mayweather was an anomaly. Just because you talk crap and smack doesn't mean you're going to be a star. You got to put something behind it. And that's the thing with Shakur Stevenson. But people don't say, again, if you bring that up, you're hating. Again, people just don't know how to have a discussion. They're reactionary with their emotions. That's what they react mainly with. And,
also, Mayweather still did things to try to like rehabilitate his image now and again. Like he did Dancing with the Stars, I think. He tried to show other sides to him. He was also much more entertaining than either guy, to be honest. Like he wasn't holding just to deny someone positional advantage. Like these guys, like if you think about it, there's camps. They're literally practicing like wrestling someone as they come in without even throwing punches, without even hurting them, just to hold someone the second they get within range. And you think about it, like they're paying sparring partners to do this. Like it's absurd.
That's absurd, yeah.
Like you can literally go into MMA if you want to do this kind of stuff, but
it's insane that anyone. It's insane that anyone. It's insane that anyone would try to defend that, really. And then they wonder why the sport's going down the drain. But anyway, listen, Irish Andrew Ward, man, we got to move on here. But thank you for your call, and call back next time, right, man?
You're very welcome for my call, BDA. All right.
All right, there you go. I like the humility. All right, take it easy, man. There you go. He graced us with his call right there. I'm gonna close the phone lines because we're gonna end the show soon, unless something exceptional happens. But I got one more thing to get to here that I want to get your thoughts on, and that is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson. apparently will happen. The exhibition
Can
again.
he leave the sport already? Can both of these guys just stop?
I mean, hey, listen, they gotta make money somehow, right? I'm looking at it here again. This is the only place I could find it. This was on Reddit, the boxing subreddit, which people tell me not to go to because they say it's not good, but I find good stuff in it there every once in a while.
You know, Turkey has an account there.
I'm not surprised. He sounds like a
He does,
Reddit guy.
actually.
I would actually take him more to be like a. Anyway, I'm not gonna say it. It's gonna make a dirty joke. Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather boxing exhibition will take place in March 2026 in Africa. Which African country? They don't.
Turkey's one of those guys that comments like on Pornhub videos.
I didn't say that. Didn't say that.
You were
Didn't
gonna say that.
No. How do you know what I was gonna say? You don't know what I was gonna say. But yeah, something tells me. You know what? He doesn't even need to go to weird websites. He can bring whatever they discuss about right into his living room. If he wants to shit on a girl, he can probably ship 100 of them within the hour and just shit all over them. I'm not saying that's what he does, but I'm saying is he could.
Or on him, maybe.
Turkey reminds me of that kid from Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. Remember the prince in there? The little prince in that?
Oh, come on. All right, listen. What do you guys think? Tyson versus Mayweather. Is this even, again, are they just trying to upstage Jake Paul and Joshua? What's going on here?
Steal this fight. Don't buy it. Steal the fight. Pirate it.
It's going to be a massive flop. I don't know who the hell's going to watch that garbage. I'll watch it just to laugh.
But this is what the caller was saying before. This is idolization. People idolize these guys, and they've proven to kind of be scumbags, haven't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How do you think that fight's going to go?
The Mayweather Tyson, that's a weird one, man. I don't know if Mayweather has the legs to keep moving, and Tyson certainly doesn't.
I saw him running. He can run. So he can still sort of run.
I mean, that's obviously fake. There's no way it's a real fight.
What's funny is that Mike Tyson literally can't even walk. Have you seen this guy? They're taking him out of airplanes in wheelchairs. He can barely even walk. He's got to run after this guy the whole time.
Yeah, it's gonna flop, man.
Even if it's an exhibition. Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a huge flop.
Here's the thing: the reason why the Mayweather versus McGregor fight was such a success was McGregor was still on top in the UFC, even though he'd taken the loss against Diaz, but he avenged it, blah blah blah. So he was that champ, and then Mayweather was only 2 years removed from his retirement. So people still thought that after this he might fight Pacquiao again or whatever. And it was a novelty. There was a novelty aspect to it. They've been doing so many of this. I mean, fucking Mayweather was fighting one of the Gotti sons. The John Gotti, the gangster guy. He was fighting one of his sons in an half-empty arena.
Yeah.
And then he was going to fight Fat Victor Ortiz, rematch Fat Victor Ortiz in Mexico. And then I think at the last minute he pulled out because he probably knew he wasn't going to do well over there. And that the event wasn't going to do well. So he just bailed ass. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking with this fight. I really don't.
Well, let me just say this. This is something like for 60 minutes though, right? Because what it seems like this is something with social media that it sounds good because social media, right? They could push it, they can make it huge, but it's also the downside of social media, right? So many people are going to trash it that it's not going to mean anything. If you're understanding what I'm saying, Mr. BD.
Well, actually, what I understood all I heard you say that you can push it and make it bigger. I mean, come on, what are you talking about?
Play one of the sounds. Play one of the sounds.
That's really what I meant, but
I mean, I don't know what he was.
How many of those do you have?
I said
Another
Foster
fat black.
won every single round. No, he lost one round, the first round. Fulton won that first round. Yeah, I mean, I know, it's anal, but I made it like that, bro. If I don't want to like shit on someone's shit because if they did it and I say no, they didn't, it's kind of fucked up on my part. I don't.
All right, the language. What's going on? It's a Sunday show.
Scared of me. No, my potty mouth. I'm sorry.
I'm still stuck on what Frank. I don't know, Frank. You missed that, man. You were like, you can push it, you can stretch it, you can make it bigger. I was like, what are you talking about?
Did I say that?
You said that. Yeah, you said all of that verbatim. It was kind of shocking to hear you talk that way on a Sunday show. On top of it, I mean, come
people
on.
tell on themselves, don't they? That's what they usually say. People end up telling on themselves.
That's right. But yeah, this Tyson
they need to beat it.
Fu, what would make you buy a Tyson versus Mayweather exhibition fight?
Crack.
Nothing.
There you go. And this is a guy who watches everything.
Nothing. Unless we're gonna maybe if they paid me to pay for it, I'd take some of the money that they gave me and I'll buy the pay-per-view maybe.
You know, Mr. BD, I know I do have uncles that will probably buy it just for nostalgia.
That's true.
They'll be like, "Hey man, you hear Tyson's fight?" They'll do it just for that reason.
Frank, it's gonna
I
be
think
one of those things
people-
people watch at the bar.
I think people learned the definition of an exhibition, and I think they're kind of done with this whole thing.
Yeah,
That's why,
exactly.
and Jake Paul had to cancel the freaking Tank Davis fight and possibly have a real fight versus AJ.
That's
Because
the
that
thing,
was
though.
listed as an exhibition.
Yeah, well, it begs the question. First of all, which like Fu's saying, this exhibition trend has really run its course. Second of all, it's going to be taking place in Africa, so who's really going to show up to watch that? I don't know if these guys. Tyson probably in Africa can draw a crowd, but again, it's not a given. Second of all, which network is going to show this? I'm pretty sure Netflix is not interested in this after the whole Jake Paul Mike Tyson debacle.
But the fact it's in Africa tells you that there really is not any interest for it. That's why they brought it over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good
they
point.
Think I guess they'll draw a crowd, right?
And by the way,
like
they're
what
saying that
fight do you see outside of like Rumble and Jungle? It's
exactly
Rumble in the Jungle 3.
And that the only reason why that was made because go ahead, Gypsy. What?
Is the intro going to be? I was going to say, is the intro going to be like the Lion King theme song? Is that what's going to happen?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's
that'd be epically stupid fight that we're going to watch. And
Exactly,
that's not even
yeah.
going to be a real fight.
That's actually going to be a letdown because they're going to make it sound epic, and then it's just going to be a letdown. That's the thing, though. The Rumble in the Jungle happened because Don King was able to, because of his loquacious style, was able to convince. Well, who was it? Mobutu Sese Seko? No, that wasn't him, right? That was from the Congo. Anyway, he convinced the fighters, first of all, that he had the money to do this special event in Africa. He got in bed with the dictator over there, managed to convince him to put up the money or whatever. Not the money, but I forget exactly how it worked. But it was all a one-in-a-lifetime type of shot that they managed to pull out. Other than that, do fights in Africa really sell? I don't know. And then on top of it, they're saying it's going to be in March 2026. The details are still very thin. Like I said, they haven't even announced an exact date. They haven't even announced a venue properly other than Africa. No broadcaster. So what the hell's going to happen here?
That's what I'm saying about social media playing. Let me just finish my point about social media playing the role in this. Is that if we weren't in the social media era, this would probably be big. But now that we know it's come full circle, social media, people are gonna just dismiss it so much.
Exactly. And by the way, this can't be anything other than an exhibition because there's a big size disparity. I mean, I know Tyson isn't in his prime anymore, far from it, but he's still a bigger guy. So what exactly is? And then on top of that, if he couldn't catch Jake Paul, is he really gonna be able to catch Mayweather, even an old Mayweather? I mean, it makes no sense to do this.
This is just sad.
What's funny is that this exhibition shit is so at its end that you had Jake Paul threatening to sue people who called this fight fake. Remember that?
Exactly.
If this fight's for real, Mayweather will box him out, and it would not. You won't be able to touch him. If it's a real fight, if it's because of the fact that Tyson's such an old dude, and he's his disc is not gonna give out fucking doing some kind of movement that he likes to do, with the bobbing and weaving. His disc gonna give out, and he's not gonna be able to do much because Mayweather, even at this age, is still fast enough to avoid anything that Mike Tyson's gonna throw at him. And one more thing, I think that black people in Africa are less of a cheapskate than the black people in America.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's the case.
If
it's gonna sell in Africa, and that means the people in our great black people that live in America do not want to spend over here.
Imagine they hold the fight in a fucking one of those war-torn African countries, just to make it more exciting. And then you hear, they're fighting.
Awesome. I think that's going to
like steps on a landmine.
Oh, come on. I mean, I don't know. Make it exciting. Make it.
Is this for next year?
Apparently, they're saying March 2026.
Yeah, I don't think Tyson makes it to that day.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying he's old as shit, bro. I don't think the guy makes it.
Well, I mean, listen, after the poor performance against Jake Paul, I don't expect much here. I really don't expect much. But anyway,
he's
listen.
gonna get injured along the way. Watch, and their fight's gonna be off.
Yeah. He's gonna be.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to give him oxygen in between rounds because he smokes so much weed right now. I don't know if. Although somebody once told me a long time ago that weed can actually be considered a PED because it opens up the how do you say in English? The little vessels in the lungs that where the air passes by.
Capillaries.
Yeah.
Capillaries or
Capillaries.
the
Your capillaries are the
bronchial.
ones that open up.
Yeah, one of those
Your
things.
your inner air testicles.
That makes no sense, man. that makes no sense. Yeah, inner testicles. Yeah. All right, listen. On that note, we gotta go. I want to chastise you guys for making it a dirty show on a Sunday. That's a big bozo no-no. But I guess we'll have to reprimand you another time. For the moment, we do have to go. But I want to give a big shout out to Vessel, The Real Food TV, Gypsy Boxing Style, Guns, that's The Guns, Bucho, who was here as well, Frank Bay, Sobers, who was here as well. Full house yesterday, by the way, over La Taqueria during the fights. Don't forget to check out Food TV, The Real Food TV on YouTube too. If I may say so myself, it has the best production value out of anything in the YTBC, and that includes our show.
Oh,
look at this,
thanks.
Look at
It's
these
really
beautiful
funny.
Christmas graphics.
It's worth watching. It's funny. Julio's funny. I gotta give it to him.
Oh, thank you.
This is real,
That's
bro.
really very kind of
FUTV
you. Very
doesn't say
kind.
anything real, so like, how can it be a real FUTV? There's nothing real about him.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's funny.
Wait a minute.
That's
Yo,
fucked
Gypsy,
up. I can't believe you
Gypsy's
said
going
that.
after everybody today. He's going after Sobers. He's going after
He's not even a
Food.
real gypsy. He's a fake gypsy. What the fuck? Call me fake. Are you a gypsy?
No, you don't. When I bring my tambourine over, you'll
A gypsy
you'll be
would say
fucking-
something like that, wouldn't he? You're projecting again.
Oh,
I'm not projecting.
well, listen. On that note, we got to go. But
I'm a projectile, not a projecting person. I'm a projectile.
all right, we got to go. Shout out to everybody who called in, everybody who joined us here in the chat. I'm talking about King KO Great, Papal La Soccer. I don't understand why they changed the names, by the way, on the YouTube chat. They used to give you the name, now they give you the handle, which is a pain in the ass to
That's a
read.
bug. Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. That's a bug.
I mean, I thought YouTube was always up on these things. But anyway, shout out to JumpTube, King KO the Great, the Quacks. Shout out to the Quacks who's getting here late. DJ Big Leg, Baron Evola, May Will Be in Your Flavor. See these fucking long ass names. Papa Lacosocorius, Exponer, JumpTube. Who else we had? Radio Aesthetic. We had Two Matador.
Shout out Jin Ryu. He's always donating. Shout out Jin Ryu.
Yeah, Jin Ryu. Shout out to Jin Ryu. Sean Rain. Rapax Trunking Company 10-4. Listen, if I forgot anybody, Mark T. If I forget anybody, it's because we got to go, fellas. But shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Catch you on the next one. Hold on. When do we have this Saturday? Real quick. Because we should have, I think the Pacheco fight is this Saturday. Let me check. Kubrat Pulev versus Murat Gassiev for a WBA title. Guys, if you need more proof of why I keep shitting on the sanctioning bodies and what we've been doing so for years, that fight tells it all. Yes, December the 13th.
Pulev is still fighting.
I mean, can you believe it? Next week, the return of El Vaquero Lopez, Luis Alberto Lopez. I mean, not El Vaquero, El Venado, taking a fight. That dude has a brain bleed, and he's still fucking fighting. What a sport.
That's insane.
So he's going to be fighting in Mexico next week, Mexicali. Badu Jack is going to be taking on rematching Norair Mijakelian for his WBC Cruiserweight Championship. That's Badu Jack's title, by the way. I think it's pay-per-view. So that's taking place in LA. Then from Stockton, California, we've got, this is a good card, Diego Pacheco taking on Christian and Billy Light, Kevin Lely Saggio, 12 round super middleweights. That should be a good one. Ernesto Tito Mercado, the trash talker who can back it up with his punching power, taking on Antonio Moran, the usually durable Antonio Moran. We'll see if he can hold up against Mercado's firepower. And Gabriel Flores Jr. taking on Joe Cordina, lightweight fight. It's a crossroads fight. The winner really has to reconsider whether he wants to keep going in the sport. The return of Ramon Cardenas, who gave Inu a very tough fight earlier this year. And if you like women's boxing, especially if you like big titty,
don't say it, skip it. Nobody cares.
Ah, come on. She's got good tits at least. Come on, you got to give her that.
Oh yeah, but she's fighting. She's probably like a lesbo.
That's true.
Suck cock!
Yeah, that's That's what our Discord always says about.
How many unique porn sounds do you have? That's actually
He's a
fucking wild.
lesbo. I like it, man. What do you got a problem with lesbos?
No. What I'm saying is our Discord. Whenever we ask our Discord, what do you think about women's? What should women be doing instead of boxing? This is what they say.
Sucking dick.
That's essentially what it is, man. They just keep going on and going with the dirty ones.
Suck cock.
I mean, come on.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that Jake Paul?
Yeah, that's when he auditions the females backstage. You're like, oh, you want to be on the MVP show? You gotta. You want the Rock?
That was the Mickey Mouse Club. Remember that episode of iCarly?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Is Disney? You know, Jake Paul was on the Disney Channel.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They molest their child actors.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you.
I think Jake Paul's gonna hit a lot of low blows on fucking Anthony Joshua because there was that one video of him just hitting the dildo, black dildo, constantly over and over again. I think he's ready for that.
All right, listen, we gotta go. It's a Sunday show, and we're talking about some people are playing sound effects and talking about boxing dildos. We gotta go. But yeah, good cards next week. Good cards. We should be able to talk plenty about them later on this week.
Coming up. That's I'm hyped about that actually.
Be that as it may, we gotta go.